Go. After a long hiatus, we are back with more Knicks content. We are so addicted we can't get enough. CP the Fanchise, Alex Rotaros here. Knicks Weekly episode 57. On tonight's show, we are going to put the Knicks postseason to bed. Take a look at what's in store for the Knicks offseason. The process is over, or is it? Joel Embiid, Karl Anthony Towns. The chatter is starting to pick up. Let's talk about it. Evan Fournier is saying au revoir to the Knicks. Let's talk about it. And Morant, Morant, whatever you want to call him, makes history once again. Let's talk about it, man. Lock in. Another episode of Knicks Weekly presented by KnicksFanTV.com. CP the Fanchise, Alex Rotaros in the building. Let's get into it, man. Salute to everybody on this Monday night. Salute to our Fanchise Channel members. Salute to the mods. Salute, salute, salute. Al, how you feeling, man?
I'm all right.
Are you recovered? Are you recovered from the hangover?
You know what's interesting? Let me tell you this.
Yeah.
And I want to know your opinion.
Yeah.
Like like we spoke on Saturday, the day after the game. I was okay. You know, I decided to step away from social media.
Yeah.
I was still upset that we lost to the Heat because it's the Heat. All right. But tell me how I get angrier on Sunday, on Mother's Day, than the actual day after. Tell me how I'm more upset. And I'll tell you why. Me being the good son, I called my mom, be like, "Hey, Ma, how you doing?" All this stuff. She's like, "Did the Knicks win?" And I was like, "Oh, you got to be kidding me." So now I have to go through the whole memory again of what happened because she's asking in detail, "What happened? Why did they go move on?" I was like, "Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me right now? I gotta go live through this." And then to make matters worse, because I wanted to stay off Twitter that day, you know?
Yeah.
We got a lot of love. We got a lot of messages from people saying that they love what we did this season, everything about it. And we appreciate all of you for reaching out. I really appreciate it. But then I have to start seeing these trade machines.
Right away.
Karl Anthony Towns. You know, we're giving up everything.
Back to fantasy hoops, man.
What are we doing, man?
Yeah.
What is happening?
Yeah.
And then you got Heat fan, and because I follow all the Heat writers that come on the show, I start seeing this and that. I'm like, okay, I'm done. I'm done with this. I'm just aggravated on Sunday. I'm like, I don't even want to talk to anybody. I get off Twitter again. I'm like, just leave me alone, man. Just leave me alone. I don't even want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it.
Back to fantasy hoops, man. You know, for me, when was that game? That game was Friday? Game 6 was Friday? Game 6 was Friday. So, yeah, I mean, after Game 6, I was just, I was completely out of it. I was just defeated, you know? I was just defeated. There was just a range of emotions. Obviously, with the team losing, but obviously as a content creator, we had a lot of fun, man. It was a great run this entire season. From the jumping out the window to celebrating with the people outside of 7th Avenue. I mean, we were going crazy. Mosh pits on 7th Avenue. Jumped out to Cleveland. Even though I seen a brutal loss in Cleveland, it was still a good experience, good time. I mean, this season I went out to Golden State, went out to San Francisco, went to Miami for the lottery. I didn't go to Miami for the playoffs, even though I wanted to. But it's just from beginning to end, it was just an incredible season of Knicks basketball, Knicks Fan TV. So Friday's loss was kind of like, it was just the end of that run. So it zapped all my energy. And then Saturday I woke up, felt like I got hit by a bus, man. I felt like it was like a college hangover, even though I didn't even drink. I didn't even drink that much in 44 days, but I had like two glasses or something, right? I just felt like I got hit by a bus, man. Like I was just completely cooked, just exhausted from the whole run. And then, so I needed a little break. And when I say I need a little break, I needed about 24 hours. No Twitter, a little minimal Instagram, just the post that we needed to make. And, went out Saturday, took Little Man to Monster Jam at MetLife Stadium. That was a good time. What I mean? Went to Monster Jam, took my mind off of things, even though I ran into Knicks fans over there. And then got back to it. Sunday, jumped on SNY with Dexter.
Let's go.
And we're back here for Knicks Weekly episode 57. But what I told Dexter, man, just reflecting on this season and even after this loss, you know, just going back to some of the calls that we had on the show Friday night. Mm-hmm. This was nothing more than an outstanding season, bro. And yes. I don't know how anybody could see otherwise. Like, if we would have started Knicks Weekly, I mean, if we would have went back to our preview shows last off season into training camp, so on and so forth, and we would have said, if you knew that this team would finish 2 games short of an Eastern Conference final, for how many games they win in the regular season? 48? How many?
47.
47. 47 wins in the regular season, 5th seed, and 2 wins away from the Eastern Conference Finals. Unanimously, this fan base would stand up and say that would be outstanding. Mm-hmm. Outstanding.
Yes.
Now the way that it ended was a heartbreaker, right? I almost would have wanted to see them get worked in Game 6 and not have a chance in the end and not have it come down to, you know, a Brunson of all people turnover after he goes off for 41.
I feel you.
That one just like ripped your heart out. But all in all, bro, this is nothing short of an outstanding season. A superstar emerged. You had an all-star season from Randle. You had quickly 6th Man of the Year contention. The Hart acquisition was major for them. They made the 5th seed. They got through the Spider Mitchell storyline. They slayed the Spider Mitchell storyline until he comes here in 2 years. They slayed him. They slayed the storyline, and they fell a little bit short. Outstanding season, bro.
Outstanding season. I mean, what is it? You and I were close. I think JD had 45 wins. Yeah. He had the most, and you and I were around like 41 and 42, so 47. But it wasn't even really 47 because once you got Josh Hart, they were on and even when it was the 9-man rotation change back in December, it was a 50-game win pace. Yeah, with Josh Hart, it became a 53-game win pace. And so when you get all of that and you think, what if you had the same roster at the beginning of the season? Everyone was healthy. If you had Quentin Grimes, if you didn't have to go with Evan Fournier, maybe even Derrick Rose to start off, and you had that 9-man rotation to begin with, what would it have been then? Could you even gotten even higher? Could you have been a 4th seed? Could you have been hosting? But everything that you said, superstar, Jalen Brunson, 41 points, good efficiency in Game 6, legitimately carried that team when everyone else could not buy a bucket. You see Quentin Grimes, you got young guys who you could say, all right, some of these guys could be core pieces. Regardless, we're a very young team. We're competing. Julius Randle, one of his more efficient seasons through the regular season. I get they didn't show up in the playoffs. During the regular season, though, one of his more efficient seasons, especially considering when his shot diet consisted of more 3-point shooting than usual. Like we're talking about close to a 50-50 split between attacking inside the perimeter and shooting threes.
Yeah.
So when you start to see that, he gets his titles. You get to see Mitchell Robinson take another step forward. Isaiah Hartenstein bounces back after a slow start. 2 out of the last 3 seasons with the core of Obi Toppin, Manuel Quickley, but really RJ Barrett and Julius Randle going to the playoffs again, getting more experience.
More experience, yeah.
You got to like what you saw from this team. And the fact that really we didn't have to trade for a superstar. We got him through free agency. I don't know how you can't look at this as anything short. I have gripes, man.
Yeah.
Like everybody else for Game 6, I have gripes with how Thibs went away from the rotation that got him there. I have gripes with the way Randle played throughout the entire playoffs and his shot selection, especially in Game 6. I have gripes, like everybody else. But if you're telling me that the whole season is a waste because we were a step short of going to the Eastern Conference Finals, that's something to build on.
Right.
You know, I know everyone's overplaying the Giannis quote, which is also what Kobe said years ago, right? Mm-hmm. Where you need to lose in order to learn and to continue to build on. You can look at that for the Knicks saying, okay, because otherwise they get to an Eastern Conference, right? Imagine they beat the Heat, they get to an Eastern Conference. They're like, oh, maybe we don't need to address the 3-point shooting.
Yeah.
Maybe we don't need to address more of the defensive help. No, you want to know that now rather than later. So I still consider this as a successful season and nothing short of it.
Yeah, no question. I mean, you don't just go from not making the playoffs to the Eastern Conference Finals, man. Like, there's steps, there's levels to this thing. And you got to earn it. And look, I know a lot of people came on and said, well, coaching is the only reason why we lost this series. And, I vehemently disagreed. Yes, I didn't like Thibs starting Hart over Grimes. I didn't like the over-doubling, the over-committing to Jimmy Butler when he wasn't necessarily killing you in the series, because that led to even more defensive breakdowns. The rotations, that one rotation that he put in the second quarter, which was abysmal, not being able to break the zone. Like, there were several things that I didn't like what Thibs did. However, the one question that I did have about this team going into the postseason was, could this offense win in the postseason despite not being an efficient shooting team and despite not being a team that passes the ball well? And what we saw is that it was good enough to get past the Cavs, but in that Miami series, it got exposed. You look at these playoff stats, man, that they were either last or second to last in effective field goal percentage. That was the one thing I kept saying all year. Effective field goal percentage. With that being last, can this offense deliver in the postseason? And they were once again last or hovering around last in almost every single passing category. Assists, potential assists, you name it.
Dead last.
Dead last
in the playoffs.
Just like they were in the regular season.
In the playoffs.
Yeah. Just like they were in the regular season, bro.
Yeah, look, they were 16th out of all the playoff teams, averaging 18.7 assists. You're not going to win like that.
Yeah.
You're not.
Absolutely not, man. So I just felt like, you look at these numbers, like even if they did start Grimes, like Grimes' shooting percentages were abysmal in this series. Julius' shooting percentages were abysmal in this series. Hart quickly didn't play, but when he did, his percentages weren't good in the series. Even in the last series, as a team, they just, outside of like RJ and Brunson, it was hard to find much efficiency shooting wise on this team. And you can't just have two guys shooting the ball well. No. The offensive woes I thought was really hurt him. I thought it really hurt him. Go ahead.
No, look at it. Look. For Miami, when you play an experienced team, especially with a head coach like Eric Spoelstra, you see that when you are playing heavy isolation basketball, you're allowing your opponent to set up defensively, and they're going to key in. Now, Brunson is just on another level where he can just continuously score, right? Doesn't matter what you do for the most part, he can still get his. But when everybody else, when you're looking at Grimes, RJ, quickly, guys who need to get into some sort of rhythm, even Obi Toppin, right? Mm-hmm. If there's not enough ball movement, then you're just one pass and then you're asking them to do something after they've been cold for a while. It's not going to work. Same thing with Josh Hart. It's not going to work. So they got to figure out how to get everyone else involved, man. I know Thibs preaches ball movement, but it's not being shown on the court.
The results aren't there, and it's in his third season. It's 3 years in a row now where this team does not shoot the ball well and they don't pass well. And, a lot of people say, well, the offense it's archaic. It's not. That's not it. Like, there's several teams in the NBA that run concepts of that read and react offense. From Boston, Golden State has run it, the Spurs. There are teams in the league that have run it. I think the question is, do we have the right personnel? And are those elements that Thibs is running, is it catered to who we have right now? And when I say who we have, a lot of that I look at Julius, right? Like, in that offense, you need guys who can make reads and make quick decisions off of those reads. And with Julius being your top guy, one of your top guys, and one of the guys who has the ball in his hands, the term is slipping me, who has usage, one of the guys who are more your high usage guys on your team, it's just, to me, it's just too inconsistent. Yeah. Sometimes he's lightning, quick read, quick move, nice. And then other times it's quicksand. He's waiting for the defense to be set. He's making bad reads off of that. It's turnover, bad shot selection. It's just so up and down. So I think they really need to look at this thing, man. Over the last 3 years, this offense has not been where it should be. And so they got to figure out, is it a personnel thing or do they need to make some tweaks to the scheme?
Whew. I mean, I think it's a little bit of both because this is not anything unknown. I mean, when you go back to Thibs' days in Chicago, now he did run a little bit of the triangle while he was out there in Chicago, but
correct.
For the most part, you would see a lot of isolation basketball, especially when you think about the times where they didn't have Derrick Rose, you have Nate Robinson. A lot of that was relied on a lot of the creation was relied on a point guard to get everything going, to kickstart everything. Even when Jimmy was there, it was relied on Jimmy to get everything going. So the difference is, are those guys fast enough to read? From time to time, yes, they could, right? Jimmy, I mean, is different. Jimmy is, we're talking about a superstar as well who can read. You see that down in Miami. He's able to understand what's being thrown at him. He knows how to quickly move that ball around. If Julius is going to be that guy, he has to do that consistently. And we haven't seen that over the course of his time, as you said, throughout this entire 4 seasons. You know, people call him a black hole because literally the ball touches his hand and it's like it goes into a vacuum and it's gone. Time stops. It's just everything is for what Julius is going to do at that moment. And there are times where you see him in rhythm. And when you see him in rhythm, like even before the All-Star break, right, when Obi got injured and you saw Randle really start to get it going for this season, he was shooting in rhythm, he was cutting, he was getting the ball at the post, he was making some quick decisions. After that Celtics game, after that last Celtics game, things started to go down from him. Yeah, that double OT game. Things started to go downhill. I don't know if it's because he was tired. Without Brunson, he's asked to take on a lot more responsibilities. But you just started to see that be the trickle effect where he's thinking too much. And you can't have that in a read and react system. I mean, we were just watching Boston play Philly yesterday. You see Jalen Tatum and all these other guys just like keep swinging the ball around looking for the open man. And if that's what Thibs wants to happen, either Randle has to figure out how to adapt to that because it's weird. There are games where he can legitimately do that. Game 5 is a perfect example.
Yeah, Game 5.
When they're back in that regard.
8-9 assists. 8-9 assists.
Exactly. Yeah. And you're like, oh, so you can do this. And that's what's so maddening about Julius. For as talented as he is, he can be a good passer. He can be a good rebounder. He can be an efficient scorer. But then it's the Jekyll and Hyde effect with him where it's like, then he goes back to the bad tendencies, holds on to the ball for too long.
Yeah.
Doesn't position himself right to attack the defense. Doesn't recognize the double teams. Fails to pass out when the double or triple team is coming. And then you have a turnover. But I think it's a little bit of both, man. I think Thibs has to figure out how to get this offense a little bit more creative because you just see guys standing around waiting.
Yeah.
And that's just not going to cut it.
Yeah.
That's not going to cut it for guys who, like Grimes is a rhythm player. He has to catch the ball and you see, has to get a feel, bounce it around a little bit, start going. Same thing with Quickly. Has to bounce it around a little bit, get into some sort of groove to become effective. And if you're going to have guys who are so ISO, if you're going to have a system that's so ISO heavy, it's a lot to ask from guys who don't touch the ball that frequently. Like you're asking Grimes out of 8 shot attempts to then to go 4 for 8. That's too drastic of an ask.
Yeah.
There's some guys who can do it, so like Steve Novak, but not for a second-year player. That's just too much. So I think there has to be some more ball movement as well.
They got to figure something out with the offense. Exactly right. I think they definitely need more three-point shooting in here. You're going to lose Rose. We'll talk about the Fournier thing in a little bit. So there will be some roster spots to fill. They got to use some guys. Hey, Max Strus is available. Why not look at Max Strus? I talked about Seth Curry. I talked about Torrey Craig is a guy who I would like. Defense and some three-point shooting. You get Torrey Craig in here. 6'7". You get a wing in here. If you can't get something in the draft, I think maybe a Torrey Craig is something to kick the tires on. And when I met with Dexter yesterday, Al, I did bring up one name. You guys were looking for this. You guys were looking for this name all year. I said I'm gonna spare you. However, my guy did shoot 40% from three last year with the Detroit Pistons. A little Mr. Everything, if you will. But we won't need him in that role because we got Brunson here.
You know what's funny? Yeah. Is that guy was actually much needed in this play.
Thank you.
I'm not going to lie. You. Because the thing about
41%. Go ahead.
The thing about Burks, you need another guy who can score in isolation. That's what we're going to have on this offense. And he could score in isolation. 2 years ago, when the Knicks made the 4th seed, he was in the 90th percentile in scoring in isolation. 90th. That is what when he came out of Colorado, that was his thing. As much as I don't want to hear the name, just because of the trauma that Thibs put us through, making him our point guard.
We don't need him in that role now. Now we could give him the role that we need him for. Come off the bench. Him and IQ have that chemistry. You get IQ going off ball. Boom. Pass it to Burks. Corner 3. Knock it down.
He's also a pretty decent defender, too. You got to give him that. Look,
a lot of people say, what are you crazy? See, people are looking, in these off-season guides for, like, the splash move. Go get, this guy. Well, I'm talking about right now, realistic. Don't worry about the trades that could come about, right? We'll worry about that later. I'm talking about with the cap room that you will have. The Knicks are already over the cap. They're not in the luxury territory, so they will have the mid-level exception to spend. Minimum salary guys. You need three-point shooters. Look at all the three-point shooters. I'm not trying to emulate the Heat. Don't get me wrong. But look at all the three-point shooters that killed them on low salaries on that team. You can get those type of guys to fill in your bench. Think about it. That's all I'm saying, Knicks fans. Just think about it. But we got plenty of time.
I think that was the other thing that definitely irritated me on Sunday, too, is that I started seeing highlights of Alec Burks saying, we need him back. And I was like, oh, my goodness gracious. Here we go.
I'm telling you, I'm just thinking about realistic options. That's it. People's like, go get Cam Johnson. Like, a lot of these things aren't necessarily realistic. Obviously, I'd love to get Cam Johnson here. He's filthy.
Oh, my God. Cam Johnson. Mikal Bridges.
Yeah, of course. Those are easy ones. But that's more fantasy basketball. I'm talking about things that they could actually go out there and get. But we'll save that. We got time for that. Another hot topic, obviously, as the playoffs have ended, is the trade Julius Hive is back.
Has it ever left?
Oh, it was gone for a while during the season. Yeah, it was gone. I got a ton of tomatoes. I got ketchup back here in bottles for what I caught. Every 30 piece. No, you wanted to trade him. Let's take that back. Apologize to Julius. And what I say, I'm not apologizing for anything. Because wait until money time. Isn't that what I said? Wait until money time. Not apologizing. And, another playoff came. And he just wasn't that good. I'm not going to kill him like that, ankle thing, whatever. He just wasn't that good. I was hoping more than I was expecting him to be good, if that makes sense. I was hoping he would surprise me. Okay?
Yeah. I had faith going to this playoffs.
Yeah.
Just because of what he did during the regular season. You saw the changes from his game. Like we said, like I went over, like there were times where you could start seeing it like, oh, okay, maybe that can come through.
Yeah.
Especially when you get Jalen Brunson in here to help. You saw a good shooting from Grimes, quickly being 6th man of the year. You're like, okay, he's got help. Maybe with all of that, you won't have, even though he'll attract the double team, are you going to be able to leave Quickly open? Well, Quickly didn't shoot well. Grimes, could you leave him open? Yeah. Well, they still didn't want to leave him open, but he wasn't shooting well enough to really be a threat, right?
Yeah.
The only guys that really showed up throughout most of the series was RJ and Brunson. But, for as much as even myself, right, can talk about Randle, be like, you got to trade him and all this type of stuff. This guy, we got to give him his credit for being here for 4 years and being that sometimes you just need to be an igniter for change, right? Yeah. And I got to give it to him he was here for 4 years. He was properly lambasted for doing the spin move every single time his first year. Came an all-star, second team All-NBA, second year. Fourth year, he gets back to it after having a down third year. And both of the times that he's been here, the team has made the playoffs because he's played well during the regular season to help put them in a position to get to the playoffs. So you got to give Randle credit for weathering the storm, going through all the criticism, trying to stay focused, locked in, not only bouncing back not once but twice after 2 down years. So you got to I'll give him credit for that. You got to, no doubt about it. But when you ask for a guy, and this is the thing, he is on this team. The team has done it. Depending on who you talk to, they talk about it like it. But when you're going to prop him up as this guy to be a go-to guy, I'm expecting him then to produce like a go-to guy. Mm-hmm. And if you're not going to produce like a go-to guy, then you're going to get criticized like you're a go-to guy. And so he's properly criticized because, you could talk about the ankle injury and all these things. Look, man, Bam Adebayo was playing with a
everybody's hurt, hamstring. Man.
Jimmy Butler injured his ankle, still playing. Jalen Brunson
had like 5 injuries.
Between the wrist, the hip, the foot, the ankle, he's getting round the clock treatment. He's dropping 41 points like there's no problem. Everyone's injured during this time of year. You got to figure out how to adjust your game. The great ones are able to do it. The guys who are going to be the guys who command that level of attention figure out how to adjust and know how to attack. So he gets the criticism fairly because I'm expecting you, if you're going to be third team All-NBA, I'm expecting you to perform like you're one of the top 15 guys in the league.
It's fair.
And if you're not going to do that and you're going to shrink, we got a problem. Because when you start talking about foundation, key pieces, all these things, when you look at how do you create a team, I know Brunson's a foundational piece. And that's honestly the only guy I know that's a foundational piece. The team has created a good foundation. But when you're talking about a player that you're like, when you look at the Warriors, it's Steph, Clay, Draymond. Those are foundational pieces. When you look at the Bucks, it's Giannis, it's Drew Holiday, it's Middleton. Those are your foundational pieces. Everything else can change, and they still can compete. I can't say that. And when I say compete, I mean in the playoffs, right? Mm-hmm. And forget what we've seen this year, whether the Bucks getting knocked out in the first round. They got a championship. Warriors got a championship. I just don't see that, where I can say Randle is that foundational piece. You have to produce in the playoffs.
You gotta produce in the playoffs. And, if both he and RJ even had 75% of the production that they gave you in Game 5, we could have been talking about Game 7 tonight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If they had a 75% of what they gave you in Game 5 in Game 6, we could have been doing post-game Game 7 tonight. Doesn't mean they win.
Right.
But we could have been talking about a game like this. And, he goes 3 for
14.
3 for 14. It's just not going to get it done. And even though I did not expect him to deliver money time, I was hoping that he would. I didn't expect him. What I told Dexter on SNY is the same thing that we talked about on postgame on Friday night, was that as much as fans are just, dump him, get rid of him, cut him, all this other stuff, it's not easy. A Randle trade at this juncture is not easy because the bar has been raised. They were 2 games away from the Eastern Conference Finals. There's no turning back right now at all for this Leon Rose regime. I don't even know if they'll get a chance to do that. It's only forward. And whatever he did in the postseason is the postseason. But in the regular season, when you talk about these 47 wins, his name is right up there with Jalen Brunson, in my opinion, for why they got that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
25 points, 10 rebounds. That don't grow on trees, ladies and gentlemen. And for the people that say, oh, Obi's got it, I don't believe that for 1 second. I don't believe that you can replace that in the regular season like that. Especially those 10 boards. One of the best defensive rebounding big men in the game. That accounts for something for this Knicks defense that was not great this year. Like, your ability to keep other teams off of the glass to get second chance opportunities, that contributes to the overall healthier defense. So Julius being able to do that, that's immense. On top of his ability to score, on top of his ability to play make. You can't just replace that. You know, like one of the guys when I was leaving 40-40 after the game, he was like, yo, we're better off without him. We can't just say that. Because in my opinion, we're not. When I was advocating to trade him way back early in the season, that's because I was trying to take this thing all the way back. Not because we were better off without him. We're not just better off without him. You have to get equal or better value at that spot. You're not looking to build around Jalen Brunson. You're looking to build with. Because like I said on Friday, if you put everything on him, he's going to be looking like he's going to go out like Patrick Ewing. You don't want that, bro. You need, if you're going to replace Randle, you need something equal or better. You need somebody that's going to go out there and go get it for you in the playoffs. I like Obi. He's a nice complimentary player. He can air it out. He can jump out in transition. But are you going to tell me that you're going to trust him in a big spot against Miami, against Boston, against Cleveland, like any of these teams, where this thing's going to grind down in the half court? You need a guy that's going to go get it for you. Yes, the ball moves and everything, it flows and all that is great. But you're still going to have your moments where you need a guy to just get it out the mud and go get it.
So let me ask you this, because we did see Thibs bench Randle in game 4 against Cleveland. We did see Thibs give Obi a little bit more run in game 6, right? Mm-hmm. And we did see Obi start in game 1 against the Heat. Now, that goes back to another questionable decision with Thibs when he's the only guy that was giving us 3-point shooting that game, that you bench him for the remainder of the fourth quarter, and even the remainder of the second quarter, both quarters actually. Second and fourth quarter, he was benched, which made no sense to me. Nothing about that gives you a little bit of confidence saying, I need to see a little bit more Obi, and saying, hey, because for some players, man, like, practice is only good for a little, man. You need game rep experience. That's where you start to learn and figure out really where to add.
I don't think this team believes that they have an all-star caliber player in Obi. And I feel like if they did, they would have traded Julius a long time ago.
But couldn't it be to the point that you're saying that this team is not competed?
Yeah.
Let's say Obi needs... Well, he's already set back, man, because you need to give him time, and he's not getting time. So it's like you would... I get believing that you have the all-star caliber player in somebody, right? Like, you can look at quickly and be like, even though, forget the playoffs right now. I know everyone's going to harp on the playoffs like, he didn't do anything in the playoffs. He stunk. He stunk. Da-da-da-da-da. Yeah, but that regular season doesn't go anywhere for, like, a player development for a guy who's in his 3rd season. You know, you're asking for this guy to build on what he did going into the postseason. I still give quickly some leeway because it's his 2nd playoff appearance. The role he had his rookie year is much different now. Talk about the 6th man. It's a big responsibility. So I'm like, okay, he didn't play well. I could acknowledge that. But I can at least walk back and say, I still got faith in him because I see the regular season. It's got to transfer at some point. Even when you watched RJ in year 2 in that playoff series against the Hawks, you're like, he played much better than this, right? And you're like, where did that go? Can he play in the playoffs? Then you see him this year, you're like, oh, that's RJ. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
Saying all of that and thinking like you need the experience, you need the reps. I'm saying that because for Obi, since even if you believe that you can get to that point, you need to see it on the court to work to that level. Because he hasn't gotten it. You can have you could have all the expectation that he could be an all-star player one day, but he needs the reps. So my only point is that, yes, he could be, but because of what you said, where you already walked in with Randle, you made the playoffs, you want to get back there. You're not in the time to start experimenting and going there.
That's my point.
If that's what you're trying to say.
That's my point. That's my point, bro. Like, I don't think they have time to see how this thing plays out. They're not trying to take a step back. And I just feel like, yes, the kid, you put the kid in there, he will know his role. All of that is good. But who is the guy outside of Brunson that you're going to trust? You're going to tell me that now everything is going to be on Brunson? Because everything is not just going to be team ball, move and cut and this and that. Sometimes you got to go get it. We need dogs. You look at Jason Tatum, 50 piece. Jaylen Brown complimented that with 25. You got to go get it, man. This is the playoffs, bro. And when you get into that final 8, that final 4, this is the creme de la creme. You got to be able to get it, to go get it.
Yeah, we need dogs like James Harden at Game 7, 9 points.
No,
solid 9 points.
You definitely don't need that. You definitely don't need that. But that's all I'm saying. Like, I get the whole Julius thing, and I would love to see him get a change of scenery, but I want to make sure that we're getting better in the process.
My thing is, though, and I said this on postgame after that Game 6, man, the one thing that is so hard, everyone does the trades and like, I want this guy, I want that guy, I want this guy, because they've already seen the production on another team.
Yeah.
The thing that we don't know, and we won't know until next year, is does Grimes take another step forward? Does Quickly take another step forward? Does RJ take another step forward? This is where, unless you have, you get to see these guys practice, right? And it's not watching videos online or anything like that. Mm-hmm. You got to know, like, you got to be in that organization. You got to have ears close to be like, yo, RJ's adding some stuff. You know what I mean? Like, Quickly added some stuff. Like, he get ready for this year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the one thing I don't know, where it's saying, okay, I can, if I was in the front office and I knew that, okay, we're watching this right now, we're saying, oh, look, Grimes is taking another level. He could be that third guy right now. We can make that move, but we won't know that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the only thing I'm saying, is that we don't know the internal development, which is, if we did know that, maybe you could be comfortable taking a step back at that position.
Right.
But that's the only thing we don't know. That's the only thing we don't know, which, and honestly, that potential could happen. It could happen.
That's fair.
That's the only thing.
That is fair. But, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just in my opinion, the Randle trade it's just not an easy one to make. Number one, I don't see what teams are going to be jumping over hoops to go get him. And how do you replace that production? I don't know.
Look, there's always somebody out there that want. There's always a buyer. There's always a buyer. The question is that what you're asking: are you going to get the fair compensation? Are you going to get someone that's going to replace him? All these things. So there's going to be a team that says, "I need a third guy." Okay, because I think we've warned that Randle. We know these were conversations we had 2 seasons ago. By the way, remember, it's like we saw the playoffs. We're like, Randle's not a 1, maybe a 2, but more likely a 3. We were saying this 2 years ago. For people who are saying the same thing, where the same season where we were like, yo, we got somebody on a good deal. This is great. We got somebody. People forget that. People like to think that we just attacked this guy, but we were also giving him his flowers too on his up and up, or on his turnaround, I should say. But he's a third option, man. He's a third option. Someone needs a third option. There's going to be a team out there that needs a third option. The question is, do you do it during a midseason acquisition, or you do it this offseason and you want to go all in now? That's the thing.
The team that's looking for the third option, like, I don't think you're going to get that comparable trade. I think you're going to get what you got in a mellow deal. Make buckets and a canter type of situation.
I think that's different, man, because everyone that reading was on the table. It's like the Knicks want to go back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Knicks want to blow this entire thing up. They got to go young. They got to go draft people. They got to go figure this thing out. you could, and also Melo had a no trade clause. He had a no trade clause, so you had to finesse that one a little bit. It's different.
I think the path for them to get whatever star chasing they're gonna get is similar to the Mitchell trade. It's through your younger players, right? Danny Ainge, Julius was never part of any trade package for Donovan Mitchell. Danny Ainge wanted no part of him. I think you're looking at another scenario where it's a combination of RJ, Obi, Quick, Grant, whatever it is, draft picks. It's the younger players that's gonna get you that true upgrade in talent. I don't think it's going to be through Julius, bro. I don't see it. Because to get that star player, most likely, like, let's even just say that it's a Dame pipe dream or it's an Embiid. Those teams in that scenario, they're going to be looking to rebuild. Right? If Portland gets rid of Dame, they're looking to rebuild. They're looking to get younger. They got Shadon. They got Simons. They got younger pieces. Philly will be looking the same. If Harden bolts for Houston and they trade Embiid, which we'll talk about, that it's for a rebuild. That's why I don't see like a Julius necessarily being a factor in that.
I hear you on that. I hear you, but I feel always. There's always one move, but there can always be the second move too, right? Is that because remember, once one team makes a decision, it opens up a new opportunity for another team, right? Mm-hmm. So say Philly did break that up. If you're the Orlando Magic, you're like, ooh, Philly's rebuilding this thing. We got a young, talented team. We compete with. If you're them, you're like, look, we won that series against Boston. Mm-hmm. We got talent. Another year. Let's add somebody else. Let's see if we can be competitive. Now, I wouldn't say Randle would go to Orlando just because you got Paolo there. But I'm just saying once one opportunity closes, an opportunity for another team arises. So if they're looking to make a move because they believe that this is their only chance, say it's a destination like, let's just say Indiana, right? They need a power forward. Philly breaks it up this offseason because let's say Doc Rivers gets fired, Harden goes back to Houston, Embiid is like, I can't go through another rebuild, man. I can't go through another whole team shift. Even though he likes Philly, he probably wants to be there. He probably has to move. So if you see Philly dropping out and you're Indiana and you're like, yo, I believe that we're a power forward away that can give us some good defensive rebounding, that can give us some scoring. Maybe that could be Randle. Let's see what the option is out there. Let's go all in and start to compete right now. And you're like, oh, well, he's friends with Miles Turner. We got the young point guard. It's hard for us to get free agents out here unless we really draft. We get a draft pick this year. I actually don't even know if they have a draft pick this year. Let's say they got a draft pick this year. You add a guy, a seasoned vet like Julius. Now you start to cook. Now you're like, ooh, maybe we build something here. You do what the Knicks did. You look a little bit more intriguing. Who knows, man? That's all I'm saying. That another opportunity could arise if another team blows it up.
Let's hear what the people got to say, man. Salute to everybody in the chat. Once again, hit that thumbs up button for you boys. Knicks Weekly, episode 57. Rambo in Tampa. Rambo, how you feeling, man?
Man, I'm feeling great because I got that notification that KFTV was coming on, man.
We're back. All we needed was a day or two, man. That's it, man. We back, man.
Man, that's all I had was a day or two. I was getting the shakes over here. I needed some content bad.
Absolutely.
Real bad. But, man, y'all hit it, man. Y'all hit it, and y'all hit it, man. It's going to be hard to trade Randle. I'm right there with you, CP. It's going to be really hard to trade Randle. I don't really see much we could do. I mean, back in, you know how our guys always rock. I was always behind the whole team. I was behind Randle. Shout out to this front office. I was behind the coach. I was behind everybody. Okay, because I was in season. Now we're in the on season. Now I can have on season talks. Okay, in February I was hoping they might have traded Randle. Truthfully, I mean I seen enough at that time to see that when he's not having a good game, how much of a cancer. Shout out to KG. He is on his team. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I was kind of over him, but at the same time, it's going to be hard. It's going to be just as hard, maybe even harder to trade Randle than Minnesota's going to have trading Cat. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. If y'all want that, if y'all want a piece of cat, y'all need to just quit that right now. That's 50 plus 50 million a year. Nobody understand that. That is crazy.
Yeah, I'll pass on that one too.
But I want to ask y'all a question real quick. Okay? Because like I said, I've always been a Thibs fan. But would you guys be okay with having Randle on the team that had a coach that would hold them accountable? That would, hey, understand that, hey, you give me lackadaisical plays, I'm going to pull you out. Because I will be okay with Randle on this team with that, just because there's no other options out there. We're not going to get nothing from him. And that's literally how I feel right now. And I wanted to ask you guys how you felt about that. And going back to Minnesota, like I said, they're going to have a hard time trading Cat. They just gave up all these draft picks for Gobert. They can't make no moves over there.
Yeah.
They're not looking to retool. They're not looking to rebuild. They can't do that if they wanted to. Their only option, and we've seen how Utah fleeced them last year, their only option is to pay Anthony Edwards up to get better. I'm not saying that they have to, but I'm just saying that might be an option.
He wants to call Anthony Towns, man. Oh, man.
No, not. I don't want to call Anthony. Anthony Edwards.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's no chance. That's the future right there.
Yeah, but I mean, they also put themselves in a bind where they basically tell their whole fan base that, hey, we're here trying to get better. We gotta go better. We don't have no draft picks. We can't get better. We can't get rid of Cat.
Yeah,
it's like they're gonna have to do something over there. And I'll just say we'll watch that. I'll be desperate. Besides that, I mean, what, we're gonna go get Aaron Gordon or something? Robert Covington? Andrew Wiggins? These are the names that we're going to be looking at for Randle, because this is where his value is after the playoffs. So for me, it's the Thibs. You got rid of Thibs. Dark Horse said it in Game 4. It's the Mark Jackson to Steve Kerr move. Come on.
Yeah, but we're not a championship contender, man. Like, appreciate the call, man. Like, that's another thing. Like, all the people that's like wishing for Thibs to get fired. Yo, he's not getting fired. No, this is not a Mike Budenholzer. If Mike Budenholzer can get fired, this is not the same situation. That's another thing. Several people, look at Mike Budenholzer, look at Monty Williams. Those teams have legit championship expectations. What that means is that it gets higher and higher and higher. If you're not meeting that, you're going to get the axe, because the coach is the easiest chair to move. When you move in pieces, the Bucks are trying to keep Giannis happy. Budenholzer was on the hot seat with the Bucks even before they won the championship.
He was on the hot seat the year they won the championship.
Yeah, they won the championship. You know what I'm saying? So he's gone. The Monty Williams situation, you already knew he was going to be gone once Phoenix flopped out last year. And then, this year, new ownership. They got Isaiah running the show. He's got Isaiah running the show.
Hey, Devin Booker, we're waiting for you, bud.
The conspiracy, it's all in the works. Isaiah is the rat. He's the mole. He was right there. He almost took a bullet for the owner when Jokic got in his face. Isaiah is going to send us Booker in a couple of years. Just wait on it and be patient.
He owes the Knicks something.
He owes. All of that stuff. He owes. But no, the Bucks situation, the Suns situation, it's completely different things. If you take a step back and look at this thing, Thibs has taken his team to the playoffs 2 out of 3 years, and they've gotten even farther this year. He's in lockstep with Leon and CAA. They are a team. They are together, for better or for worse. So for the team, I mean, constantly we're getting comments all the time. Get rid of Thibs. Get rid of Thibs. Get rid of Thibs. It's not going to happen. At least not this year. It's just not going to happen.
And Thibs was on the hot seat this year, but it was because they were underperforming. But now that now you win completely 180 and you overperformed for what the expectation was. This front office was probably saying, can we get just a competitive first round? You got more than that. You gentlemen swept the Cavaliers.
True indeed.
True indeed. Number one defense in the league.
Number one defense in the league.
You got an all-star in Donovan Mitchell, 2 all-stars in the previous year with Garland and Jared Allen. That's a big move for the Knicks. So Thibs won't be fired. But the other thing that goes into this calculation when you're trying to think of getting a new coach in there is, has his voice become stale? How close are you, as you noted, to contending for a championship? Have you reached the peak of the coach being here where he has truly created an environment of sustainable winning? Because when you look at Mark Jackson, it was at the end where it's like, all right, his voice is stale. You already reached the pinnacle. Second round exits, not enough. And you already saw that, oh, whoa, we got some top tier shooting in Clay and Steph. We got to make sure we utilize this because they're young. I don't think we're there talent wise to be saying, all right, we got something here that we really got to take advantage of.
Not there yet.
If RJ, if Grimes were like really knocking on that door even quickly, right? Really knocking on that door saying we're about to be great, then I'd be like, you got to change it, man, because these contracts are very good right now. You got to get somebody in here, but we're not even there yet.
Not there. Definitely not there. And like I said, for better or worse, the way the relationship is, the way they are entangled, that's a team, man. It's going to take a huge collapse and where Dolan steps in like, hey, what are we doing here? It's either Thibs or it's you. That type of thing.
Yeah.
He said he wants playoffs. They got playoffs and then some. Success. 2 out of 3 years. Playoffs. 4 seed 1 year, 5th seed the other year. If you take a step back, that's a hard thing to make a decision on. Like I said, those other situations were vastly, vastly different.
And the thing is, like we get Thibs' flaws. Thibs isn't the perfect coach. I don't think he's going to be that coach that takes us to the championship promised land. I don't think he's that guy. But you don't want to stop something short until it reaches its destination for what his purpose is. And I don't think it's been there yet. I mean, especially when you have a young roster like this. Like, this roster is not what we had last season or even 2 seasons ago. So I still think the front office looks like, okay, we overachieved for such a young roster. Also, the players that we have here haven't developed to the point where we're also ready to move on either. I think they're looking at that as well.
Doc on the Discord, let's go.
Hello, y'all hear me?
Loud and clear. How you feeling, bro?
I'm feeling good, man. Even better, like the last guy said, once I seen KnicksFanTV was going live, I was like, man, I needed my Knicks fix. I needed that, it's just been, I felt like I felt like I woke up with a hangover, man. It's just been a rough couple of days, letting it settle in, but now we're here and I had a lot of time to think about what's going on.
Absolutely.
But I think I'm agreeing with both of y'all. What both of y'all have to say. I think that first, I think that you're right. I think that for the organization to really take a step back is really difficult to do right now. I think that's not really in the cards unless they're guaranteeing Leon an extension and he's going to stay. He's got how many years left? He's probably going to want to just keep moving forward, not peel anything back. But I think that if that's the case, the real answer is kind of looking within ourselves. We got to look at inside of ourselves. We got to establish a real culture, because everybody can look at the coaching. Everybody can look at this 3-point shooting. But the thing that really sticks out like a sore thumb to me, honestly, is seeing Randle turn the ball over and him not running back as hard as he can to play defense. Seeing Brunson kind of being the only guy that is kind of just taking accountability for everything aside from RJ. I hear RJ sounds really mature for his age too. Yeah. So props to everybody who does that, really does, take accountability and gives it their all. But I think that the whole culture aspect is kind of just the answer for if we're not going to get rid of Randle, if we're going to continue to move forward. I think like the last caller said, we need a coach that's going to kind of hold him accountable. You know what I'm saying? So I think that if we're not going to look to move Randle, because like you said, it's not going to be easy to just find somebody that does what he does. But if the answer is to move off of Randle, I think it's going to be something that we get pieces incrementally. I don't think we just find somebody that does the same thing. Yeah. One person. Yeah. I think it's going to be a few pieces, and then you look to rearrange the bench a little more and figure out those answers. But I think, the culture is probably the main priority here. And if Thibs' voice is getting stale too, like Alex said just now. So there's a lot of questions to look at and there's a lot of things to look at. But I think the first things first is looking within ourselves, see if we can get over that hump. Our motto was all in, all one. It didn't look like we were all in, so I think that we have to really establish that culture. And if we do, I think we look at a completely different basketball team. I think that Cleveland series was what, the peak of New York basketball with this team could potentially be. So I appreciate you guys. I'm gonna get out of here. I know I've been rambling.
Appreciate.
I just have a lot on my mind.
Good points, man. Good points. Good points. We here. Appreciate the call, Doc. Definitely appreciate it, man. Yeah, I think he's right. Like, is it a piecemeal upgrade where you get a couple role players for Randle, but after that, then you're definitely packaging your young players for a star. You're not going nowhere with Jalen Brunson and role players, man. You're going to have him with 2 ice packs on his knees after every game. Need another dog, man.
Just look at the Dallas Mavericks.
Look at the Mavericks. Need another dog. You need 1 or 2. Need another guy. Denver's got Jokic and Murray, and Michael Porter Jr. is doing the damn thing. Lakers still got Bron and AD cooking. When AD's cooking, he's top 10 in the league. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Boston has its bevy of guys. Tatum and Brown. I mean, look at the way they played yesterday. And some of you thought we would match up well with them in the playoffs.
Yeah, I won't go with that. I won't go. I still think we could have matched. There's some teams that you could just match up well against, even if you don't have the talent. Yeah, I think you could have.
Not the way we defended.
Not the way they performed yesterday. But I also don't. I mean, it's also. I mean, you got the trifecta of like #1 choke artists over there. You got Doc Rivers, James Harden, Joel.
Yes.
I mean, you got the.
It's a perfect recipe. It is a perfect recipe. But I'm just saying the way we defend the 3 and our lack of 3-point shooting, we're just not there yet, man. Talent. Whether it's the homegrown kids growing up, or you go get some more. Need some more pieces, man. We're not there. Embiid, Al.
Oh boy.
Lots of talk about Embiid, as you just said. They flopped. They choked, as we expected. Woj just saying Houston and Harden is a real thing. It has legs. And so now the Embiid, huh?
That man, Harden is not serious.
I don't know what is your deal, bro? Like, what is he doing?
Like, why do you want to go? Like, I just want to know, what are you doing in Houston?
Yeah. Maybe he misses the strip clubs, man. It's
just a lifestyle, I guess.
maybe he misses the strip clubs, man. I gotta think they'd be better at H-Town than in Philly. God knows. I don't want to know what the Philly women look like.
Oh man.
I don't know. Maybe
I just got bad
images.
Why'd you do that, man? Why you do that?
I called one of my young homies yesterday who's down at H-Town, and it's Sunday, and H-Town, Sunday is very big for day parties and all of that. So the first thing I asked him, I said, well, you sound like you had a day party, man. What are you doing? So who knows? Maybe he just misses a vibe. He just wants to be in the Knicks. But anyway, Embiid. Would you be for it? Would you be against it? What say you?
Woo. It's tough, man.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna say I'm for it.
Okay, talk about it.
I'm gonna say I'm for it.
Let's go.
I'm gonna say I'm for it just because you're talking about an MVP caliber talent. If you really want to open up the court, he can knock down some threes.
Yep.
Play back to the basket. Just force continuously. He's gotten better every single year. He's a competitor. Even though he's fallen short, I don't really put all of the blame on him.
Mm-hmm.
I also look at who he's had as coaches. I look at his teammates as well. I would be willing to trade for Joel Embiid. I understand the injury concerns are there. I know that's what everyone's going to bring up. But when he's playing, and he was available throughout all the playoffs. He had some big moments. I would be for Joel Embiid.
Are you ready to get rid of the whole team?
That I'm not.
It's going to cost you more than Spider. You can know that. This is the MVP now.
Yeah, I know.
This is Daryl Morey. Are you ready to give up every young player that we have and picks?
If you could figure out a way where you're giving up a lot of the picks and keeping keeping the talent, yes, but I know that you're talking about a complete rebuild for that team, which is the biggest which is like the biggest. I can't
Tough, man.
get with that, because if you're telling me, I can't even see a scenario where it's Embiid. I guess Randle could work because he could shoot the 3 ball as well, but you need more top tier 3-point shooting for that team.
Yeah.
You just need more top tier 3-point shooting for that team. It's hard, man. It's really hard for me to figure out like what even a trade for Joel Embiid looks like.
Right.
Because you got to also match the salary.
Got to match the salary.
Randle and RJ got probably the closest.
Yeah.
If you opt in Evan Fournier, that also helps. But if I'm New York, I'm trying to persuade them to take as many picks as possible so that way I can keep that roster.
What's the contract looking like right now? 50, 50, 50, and 50. Yeah, 46, 50, 54, and 58. So, there you go. 46. You gotta get there. As you said, the contracts, right? Between Embiid and Booker, these are the two moves, the two obvious moves. You want to throw Cat in there, I guess. The two obvious moves that that Leon would make because the relationship is there. Obviously, you'd have some competition. You'd have a ton of competition. Would Morey do Embiid a favor? Does Embiid even like it in New York? I don't know. I mean, we assume
Not too far from Philly.
We assume that the relationship with Leon, he would want to come, and the relationship with Wes. But does he even care? And does Morey care, right? Would Morey call another team? Would he call the Thunder? Would he call the Magic? Would he call the Rockets? Because those are all teams who have a better combination of youngsters and picks. But, look, from what he gives you on both ends, you would have to take a look at it as MVP of the league. The injuries is a big, big, big concern for me. Big. Because you can almost guarantee every year is something, man.
Yeah.
This year was a sprained knee. Last year was the orbital bone. When he came in as a rookie, was it a knee or a foot? The way he plays. I mean, that's a credit to how he plays. He plays hard. He plays on both ends. But it's that big man thing, man. It just when you go that hard, like you can guarantee injury. You're guaranteeing missed time. Guaranteed. The playoff performance thing. What does it say? Only MVP never make the conference finals. I hear that. I do. I hear that. But I would have to take a look at it, man. You got to. Definitely.
You can't turn down an MVP, man.
You can't turn down an MVP, man.
Look, there's a lot of things I could say no to. I can't turn down an MVP. I could talk myself into maybe it's a different team. Maybe it's a different coach.
Yeah.
Maybe you get him with a different player. Who you could say, hey, who's his point guards that he's had to work with? Ben Simmons, James Harden.
I would love to see him and Brunson cooking.
Right? You think of that. You think of Brunson and Embiid. You're like,
I would love to see him and Brunson cooking.
Two tough guys playing in New York.
Yeah.
That's tough to say no to, man. And I get the injuries, but you got to take a risk at some point where we're going to say no to every player that's going to be, you got this injury, that injury, this injury. Everyone's going to accumulate miles and they're going to start getting injured at some point.
Yeah.
Like even Devin Booker got injured this year, missed some time. Mm-hmm. Okay. Look at Kevin Durant. People be like, oh, you go for Kevin Durant, but he's missed some time. Ankle injury, whatnot.
Yeah.
Kyrie has missed time. You still take a gamble on Kyrie. He's been injured so many times. You still take a gamble on him. Very few players are like LeBron James, where you're like, this guy is really LeBron's prime. You gotta get 70, 80 games. If he's missing a game, it's because he wants to miss a game. It's tough, man.
Right.
Tough. So I would trade for Embiid. I just did some I just wanted to see what numbers would match. If you're thinking about replacing the center, Mitchell Robinson, right? He can go out. Another contract.
Yeah, you definitely have to trade
RJ. You got RJ, Randle. Those 2 contracts alone equal Joel Embiid's.
There you go.
So either Randle, either RJ, with Mitch can get you the matching salaries for Joel Embiid. Now the question is, like I said, how many picks are you gonna give up? Because if you're telling me, I give up picks to get this guy, I'd do it.
You're looking at, I mean,
how much did Harden draw? Because that's probably what you're trading.
What was it? 4 firsts and 4 swaps, or 4? No.
4 firsts and 4 swaps.
Yeah, and what KD fetched from Phoenix?
I can't.
We got to go back and look at that. It's gonna be a lot, man. It's gonna be the whole war chest. To give it up. Give it up. This is a stick up. And you're talking about interdivision.
Yeah, you're paying a little bit of a heftier price.
I think you're paying a premium.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see what happens, man. Something to keep an eye on for sure.
Yeah.
You just never know. Like, if it's Harden, Houston has legs. He can opt out and do that, so he can go free and clear. If I got to see it, we got to see if Houston has cap, or if they would have to do some sort of sign and trade. But
they probably have to try. I think Jalen Green would probably have to be involved in that.
Okay.
I think I saw something around those lines.
That's weird. That is weird.
I think I saw that. I think I saw that. I'd have to look back again. I think I saw that. It's a lot of NBA news to try to keep up with, but yeah, the whole James Harden back to Houston thing. I don't know what you do with that.
Yeah,
just because they're not competing.
Weird.
Harden is not prime Harden.
Weird. I gotta think strip clubs and turkey leg hut is his motivation. He's trying to get back to it. That's one thing about H-Town, man.
He didn't like the cheesesteaks out in Philly.
No.
He didn't like the cheese whiz.
There's nothing
on
shaking.
top of the steak.
The cheese whiz wasn't cutting it, man.
Showed up to a strip club and they pulled out a Philly cheesesteak.
Yeah.
You want peppers? You want onions with that?
Yeah. It was the cheese whiz got old fast. He's trying to get back to it. It's one thing about H-Town, man. They will
Meek Mill was
feed you.
excited to see James Harden.
Oh, man, get out of here. VA Nick on the Discord. Let's go.
Hey, what's up, fellas? Appreciate y'all, man.
What's good, man? Do you want Embiid or not? What's good?
Man, it depends, man. I'm kind of like with y'all. Like on that package that y'all were just talking about, with Mitchie and Randle on some picks, I could probably stomach it. Anything beyond that, I don't know, man. But like you said, CP, like the injury history, man, that's a big deal with Embiid,
it's
man.
Tough,
like,
man.
Like he's good entertainment, but like the reality of it is, my man just came off a horrible Game 7.
Yeah.
Like we just lived that with Randle. So like, is that really where we're trying to be at?
He had Al Horford body in him, and no offense to Horford, but I mean, come on, man, you're the MVP. This is Al Horford.
Al Horford. This isn't like 2007, right? So like, Al Horford is in there like drinking the fountain of youth. Right. But no, I had a question for y'all though. So on that Randle topic though, how much does the culture play into like letting him go for actual pieces that may be accumulative to like the 25 and 10 that he was given? Because you got to believe that he's got to be a cancer in the locker room to some degree as you look at him moping and some of that other stuff, man.
I'm not sure, honestly. I can't answer that part. I really can't answer that part.
That's
how
fair.
The rest of the locker room feels about him. We don't know. We just don't know. And something, Frank White in the chat says Jeremy Grant, but we can't afford Jeremy Grant unless it's a sign and trade type of situation.
Yeah, and I'm not sure, man. Like, do we really know what Jeremy Grant would be like in the playoffs? Like, he's doing all his numbers on garbage teams.
He's a supporting guy.
Yeah, exactly. So you might as well stay with Randle. Like, if that's your move, like, nah, no thanks. So, but the one thing I will say this, and I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all dropping the content. I do think Randle needs to get a little love from a standpoint of like, I feel like he's catching a lot of heat on like kissing his wife and the kid after the game. I feel like that was
the dumbest thing I had ever heard. And I rock with Kmart heavy. He's a friend of the program. I just thought that was
a bit much.
Yeah, a bit much. That was a lot much.
I was trying to be nice because of Kmart, right? But like, come on, man. Like his family, like, come on, man.
That was ridiculous, man. But it's a lot of the content out there is just ridiculous. And then
that's why we tap into y'all.
Yeah. That rightfully so, man. Rightfully so, because
Rightfully so.
you know that's one of the things that grinds my gears, Al. And I'm gonna deviate from this a little bit. One of the things that grinds my gears. You go out on social media, you go out on Twitter, you go out on Instagram, and you see all these. You know, you have some accounts that are specifically aggregating Knicks content, right? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have some accounts who are just, you know, guys, regular guys, but they're also putting Knicks content out there. But whether it's Twitter, whether it's Instagram, a lot of the times I'm not seeing Knicks Fan TV stuff out there. We bring you quality guests. We bring you sharp analysis. We bring you humor. We got it all over here. Player interviews. Like I said, show me the network, show me the platform that's bringing you all these insiders into one thing. And I gotta and then you gotta surf Twitter and see, well, Bill Simmons says Joel Embiid to the Knicks. So what? You know what I mean? Like, why is Bill Simmons' ice colder? Because he speculates that Joel Embiid to the Knicks is a thing.
That's all he does.
That's all he does.
Because that's not he's on the machine and he's not tapped in.
That's all he does.
Cats are looking at that clickbait, man.
Right.
But if folks really listen to the content from Gus Johnson to Cormega, like the quality and the variety that you guys bring, come on, man, it speaks for itself. Trust me, man. Trust me, your stuff is it's gonna pop. Just keep pushing.
Why do I care that Brian Windhorse, who does this every single year like clockwork? Oh, the Knicks are attracted piece to a free agent. I think they're gonna get somebody.
Because they love Wendy. Come on now, you already know, man. They like he got one trade right, man. So now he's walking on water. One trade.
What is that? So, you know, I say that to the people that's watching out there. If you are some of these people, share our stuff with the same enthusiasm and the vigor that you share some of the mindless Knicks content out there. You know, the reason why the Julius stuff about his family came out was because somebody shared that. I wouldn't have shared that. I don't care about that.
Facts.
That doesn't interest me. I want to know about, I want to talk hoops. I want to talk who we brought this kid Brady Hawk on to talk about this Knicks versus Heat series. If anybody was in here tapping into that show, this kid is a savant at 19 years old.
Bro told us everything. He gave
that content should have been clipped up 1,000 times and put out there for people to educate themselves on what's happening in this series.
Man predicted exactly down to the T what was going to happen in Game 2.
Yeah,
he did it.
Nailed it.
And so I take, you know, I don't like that, man, because we're giving the people premium content for free, night in, night out. Night in, night out. Now, some of you might not want to promote us. Maybe that's your thing. That's okay, too. But for the people that do aggregate the content and cut up clips, do that for us, too, man. You know what I'm saying now? Do that for us. It's very easy. A lot of you guys are sharp. You screen record. You do your thing. If you guys are out there watching right now, throw us a little tag on Twitter. Throw it on Instagram, on your Instagram stories. It goes a long way, bro. Support us in the way that we are supporting you with free premium content.
Speak your truth. I love it.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that, man. Thank you, man. Thank you for allowing me to deviate for the conversation.
I'm gonna always tap in, man. From VA to where you guys are, I'm gonna always tap in. I don't have any bad pizza like Cleveland, but hey, look, man, I respect and love what y'all do, man. Big ups. I'm out.
Appreciate it, man.
Yes, that's amazing. Cleveland getting shots.
Yes, yeah.
Shots fired at Cleveland. I love it.
Yeah, I went out to Cleveland to eat the dog food pizza out there for the content. All right. And we don't care about going viral. We don't care about sound bites and nothing like that. We're not like these other people. We just talking hoops. We having fun doing it. We'll crack some jokes here and there, and we keep it pushing.
Hey, if you're lucky enough, you'll get us thinking about all the old video games we used to play.
Yeah. You know, Ryan Russillo, he's going in on Julius. So what? We do that for 82 games a year here at KnicksFanTV.
You could
put my stuff out there. Yeah.
Tune in for Game 4, Game 6, post game. Could have done the same thing.
Could have done the same thing. Could have done the same thing. But the support is real.
And people who've watched every single game, they'd be like, oh, these guys watched all 82?
All 82. All 82.
And these guys are angry? They must have a reason.
All 82. But it's a programming thing, Al. It's a program. We are programmed to automatically think that if the thing says ESPN on it, or the thing says Simmons Show, Ringer, platform, major network, that everything that comes out of their mouth is gold. Meanwhile, we're saying the same things here, or even better, or even more valuable, or even more of substance. Programming, people. Get out of the matrix. You're getting premium content here. Okay. So, anyway, that's on Embiid. Karl Anthony Towns. No, when did that even come about, though?
Karl Anthony Towns?
Yeah.
No, because this is like clockwork, CP. Come on. It's like clockwork. They're like, oh, wait, New York needs a star. They want to trade Julius Randle. Oh, wait, I got somebody. Another Kentucky big that likes to back down players from the three-point line. Questionable on defense. Yeah, actually, even more questionable on defense.
More questionable on defense.
I wouldn't trade Julius. I'd keep Julius over Cat 10 out of 10 times.
I'm not bringing Cat here, man. I don't like it.
He has struggled in a small market in Minnesota to make him a winning team. You're telling me now, the guy, and this is where I'll put, because like accolades, they're important. They mean something to the player for how they performed. I hear it, but I don't consider it to be the end-all, be-all thing. But I'll throw it in this. You're going to tell me the guy who's now been considered top 15 in the NBA 2 out of his 4 times in New York, plus an all-star, who has helped us during the regular season get in position to be in the playoffs. We have not had to go to the play-in once with him here. Yeah. You now want me to trade. I would even do a 1-for-1 for a guy who has had to go through the play-in twice and has crumbled.
I'm not here. I'm not here for it.
No.
And one thing about Julius, you want to knock him, durability, man. That's not on Cat. That's not in Cat's favor. And Embiid is a different talent, but not in his favor either. I'm all out on Cat. I've been out on Cat.
Anyone who's got the nickname the Big Purr, I'm out.
No thanks, man. If he's from the city, that doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean anything, man. Or from the area, I guess you could say. No, I'm good on Cat, man. I'm good on Cat. All right.
By the way, I found the article. I found it.
Which one?
Jake Fisher, reporting according to Yahoo Sports. Jake Fisher, he said that Houston Rockets might be willing to sacrifice Jalen Green in order to accelerate their playoff contention.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to make a move at some point, but man, you're gonna give up on him that quickly? That's interesting. I mean, I like some of their pieces. I like Sengun a lot. I always wanted the Knicks to kick the tires on Kevin Porter Jr. I liked his game a lot. Mm-hmm. I just thought he just needed some maturity in him. I thought some
guidance.
He needed some guidance. You see, I don't know.
He's not the place for guidance, man.
Yeah, that's definitely not. And he did have a little.
Eric Gordon was like, "Yo, get me out of here."
Yeah. And he did have a little thing when he first got there, but I like his game still. I really like his game. They have some pieces there. It's just interesting that. But it is right. Like, you do have to make a move at some point to try to turn this thing into a legitimate team and not just stockpile assets. But you look at OKC, and things broke right for them.
Yeah,
things broke right for them, man. And I remember I was talking to Eddie Johnson at Summer League last year. We were watching Chet Holmgren and them, and part of the conversation, he was like, at what point will they try to be legit? And I was like, yeah, you're right, man. They just stockpiling assets. And then this year, they got close.
Hey, that's a big move for them.
They got very close, man.
And compete like that?
Yeah.
Big move for OKC for how young they are?
Yeah.
That's, to some, they consider that like a successful year. Not overachieving, but that's a successful year for them.
Big
based
year.
On how often they've been just tanking and in the lottery.
And, your number one pick went down.
Yeah.
Didn't even play.
Yeah.
So, interesting.
And SGA was balling in that last game. He was balling out. He got to the rack with ease.
Yeah.
No, other guys I like on Houston are Jabari Smith, Tari Eason.
Yes. Tari Eason. That was a guy I'd liked in the draft for us. Yeah. I liked him for the Knicks in the draft. I think he's going to be a good player for them, too.
Yeah.
Shout out to Nick, $100 super chat. I think that is VA Nick. It's a shout out to the content y'all deliver from the game preview to JD and play-by-play. Keep producing that fire. That content that y'all deliver is legit and needed. PS, be ready for emergency show after we get a first-round pick. 2K row. You said 2K row? Oh, maybe tomorrow, I think. Maybe it's auto correct. Yeah, tomorrow we will have a lottery show.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do it. A lottery watch along, and let's see if we can steal some more juju from Mark Cuban and,
you thought
and the Dallas
content
Mavericks.
Was stopping out there just because the Knicks aren't in the playoffs.
No. we keep this thing rolling, man. We are degenerate, delusional fans. This is our time, the off season, where dreams don't come true, but we talk about it on a nightly basis as if they will. I love it.
My wife was looking at me. I was like, "Yeah, I'm doing it. I'm going on the show tonight." She's like, "You guys did the playoffs end?" I'm like, "We ain't done talking.
It's never over. It's never over. It's never over." Shout out to Russell Whiskey, man, always in there. Fanchise Channel members. He says, "Here's my crackhead NBA 2K trade with some credit to the Black Ranger. Randle for Jalen Green and Segun. I'll let myself out." Salute to Russell Whiskey, man. Speaking of let myself out, Al, Evan Fournier is bidding adieu. I hope I said that right for my French friends. To the Knicks. While there was no exit interview this year by the Knicks, shout out to Knicks PR, and they said, no, we're not doing it. He says he spoke with our guy Ian Begley, friend of the show, and when asked about his potential return, he says, well, my season was over a long time ago. I'm going to be traded. I'm out of here. Sincerely, Evan Fournier. So there is that. The Fournier tenure is over. Well, as we expected, right? I don't think anybody expected him to return. He has 1 year left on his contract coming into next season. That will be expiring. I think everybody's been looking for a Fournier trade for like the last 2 years now. Maybe you finally get it.
I was looking for a Fournier trade 2-3 weeks in.
So yeah. Let me pull up Ian's full story here. Evan Fournier, SNY. Yeah. So Fournier says he's gone, and I'm just pulling up the quote here. So to everybody in the chat, man, hit that thumbs up button for you boys. Let me get this in here. Hang tight. Okay, here we go. Evan Fournier. Okay. He says, reflecting on the season, he says, my season's been over for a very long time, actually. This officially is the end. When my season was over a long time ago, it took me a good month to understand that. At first, I was like, just be patient to see how the team developed. Obviously, there are going to be changes. I'm going to get traded. At first, it's frustrating because you love the game so much. You're home, you're upset, etc. I've got 2 kids at home. I don't want to live like this. So I was just trying to focus on work, focus on not wasting my time, get my legs straight and work on my skills. Basically, not waste myself. So that was my whole mentality. I know the season is officially over now, but that's just the opportunity of the summer for me. He says, in the playoffs, it's even harder because of the intensity and you want to help you and you see the crowd, but you know, I knew it wasn't going to happen. So try to stay positive with the guys, try to help talk to a few players that don't have the experience. He says, you know, I'm not going to be back. There's no way they're going to keep me. I'd be very surprised if they do. So we'll see. It's obviously not in my hands, though. So that's Evan Fournier. A consummate pro, man. You know, a lot of people crapped on him. His defense is lacking. He came on the show. When Evan Fournier touchdown in New York, and he told the fans, I want to go on a podcast.
He's a real one for that.
Yeah. He said, I want to go on a podcast. The fans sent him to the right place. Number one show for the fans by the fans. Knicks PR said, don't do it. But he said, I'm going to do it anyway. Woo. Yeah, just a little secret between me, you, and the 1,000 people that are watching. They try to derail the interview. Didn't work. And he came on anyway. And spoke freely. Spoke his mind. That's why I always gave him the benefit of the doubt. If you really want to know.
You're a better man than me. We'll not forget that show we did year one. He was on the team. It was 2 second rounders.
Yeah.
Who?
JD was trying to get him up out of here fast.
I was with him.
Yeah. Yeah. It was hilarious, man.
And CP just screaming, it depends on what you need.
Hey, people were looking for him in the series, man. People were looking for him in the series.
I know.
I wouldn't have minded it. I was looking for him more than Rose, I'll tell you that. Because I was just like, man, give me somebody that could actually hit a shot, man. You know, give me somebody that could actually hit a shot for a second. Now, on the defensive side of things, might not have been so pretty, but as we see with all the unnecessary doubling, what difference would it really make? Did it really matter? Did it really matter to begin with? Throw him out there, let it fly. You know? But, you know, shout out to him for being a pro, man.
Absolutely.
Shout out to him for being a pro.
I wonder, though, if his comment means something even more than what we're figuring out. Because he has one more year, right? Because he signed he signed 3 years guaranteed, 1 year team option. If he thinks he's going to be traded, does he know of a trade that's already in the works?
I'm sure from the trade deadline, they already told him. Hey, we're going to look to move you to another. I'm sure. He's probably known that for a good year.
I just want to know what that trade is. Like, what's the discussion? Yeah. Is it for the star that everyone's thinking of to help Brunson? Because after this season, you got Brunson on a good deal. He's 25. Want to make sure you can build with Brunson and make this thing legit. Right? You don't want to waste his talent. I'm just wondering if it's a bigger trade that we're thinking of over here, or if it's just around the edges type of move that we're doing.
Yeah, I'm not so sure, man. I'm not so sure. Yeah, but you know, I think he's had to have known for a while that they've been trying to deal him, and now with being an expiring contract, maybe it's easier now. So we'll see. But that's that. Fournier era is coming to an end. And like I said, hopefully they replace him. My guy Alec Burks is a perfect candidate. So we'll get to that later on. We got time to talk. Ja Morant.
Oh, boy.
Ja Morant, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, I did see that your return to Twitter, you were getting retweeted and added.
Yes.
And had a lot of comments.
Oh, yeah. The day I returned to Twitter, man, I had smoke, man. I had to catch up. I had a lot to get off my chest. And that was one of the first things I saw that Sunday. Was it Sunday, Saturday morning? I just said, what am I watching right now? You know, what am I watching where this guy, the number 2 pick in the draft, a superstar, the next Iverson, as they say, great player. I wanted him on the Knicks so bad, man. When I seen what he did with Murray State, so bad. Watched him carve up teams in the NCAA tournament. I said, "This is our point guard. We need him." He gets jammed up March 3rd. This is 2 months ago.
Yep.
In the strip club with the gun. He gets suspended for a couple of days. Then it gets lengthened. Then they send him on the fake rehab thing. He's going to Florida to rehabilitate himself. I don't know what type of rehab that is.
Didn't work.
They do the Jalen Rose thing. You know, they have the heart-to-heart. I've been there in your shoes. I've been there. I didn't even watch that because I thought that was just going to be completely ridiculous. I didn't watch a minute of it because I knew it was just going to be nothing but stuffed answers and just ridiculousness. But nevertheless, I thought the kid was going to move on from it. Right? So now 2 months later, you got Instagram videos, him and his friends in the car. He's flashing the strap, and they're playing carpool karaoke. Have you ever seen a kid? Have you ever seen someone be so desperate to throw away their NBA career and throw away the bag? You ever see somebody who want to get rid of $200 million that fast? Just light it on fire and say, I don't need this.
It's insane.
You are in the creme de la creme, the top 1% of athletes. And you're trying to throw it all away playing carpool karaoke with a bunch of losers, bro. I can't understand it. Now pick zombies in the chat, whoever they are. He did nothing wrong. Okay, maybe legally, maybe it wasn't. But there's something called a clause in your contract, a conduct clause. There's something in the NBA called image that they don't want you tarnishing. The NBA is a private entity, ladies and gentlemen. That's what you did wrong. You violated the clause. You violated the contract. You violated the trust because you know the NBA was the ones that arranged the rehab. They arranged the sham of an interview with Jalen Rose to try to get him back. They gave him grace. They gave him a bly. They gave him a break. And now to see 2 months later that he violated it, bro, if David Stern was still alive, he would throw the book at John Morant. That could be a 1-year suspension. I got to think it's either anywhere between 25 to 50. I don't know. But there's clearly, I don't know who he is. I don't know who his friends over there. There's something is not connecting up here. Not connecting up here whatsoever, man. Your thoughts?
Speak on the legal aspect of it. Yeah, right. It's not, we're not talking about his Second Amendment rights to own a firearm.
Right.
We're talking about private business, what's in your contract, what you're allowed to do, image, how do you represent? Because it's not only himself he's representing, it's the league. The league doesn't want this image of someone being in a car, being reckless with a firearm. That's not what they're trying to promote. And the way he's going about being in a car, just flashing it, being in a strip club, flashing a weapon, that's not what the NBA wants. It just doesn't, because the image that you would be setting for fans, children, I mean, the amount of people that go on YouTube nowadays just to watch highlights,
right?
He's influential. Like he can legitimately change how people, whether it be dress, talk, act, it's how it happens, right? Look at what, you don't even have to go that far back to see how that type of marketing works. Look at Michael Jordan. Go watch the Last Dance documentary.
100%.
Everyone's buying shoes. Everyone wants to be like Mike. Look, he just has a shoe deal. I don't know who he's rocking with that would allow him to put himself in these positions, right? And you can even talk about why for 111 people you're going to go live for what? Like, what are you doing that for?
Man, cloud.
Why do you need to even go live in that situation? And if you're his friend, right? Yeah, the responsibility is on Ja for him to understand his own actions. No one's taking that way. 100%. Sometimes you need a friend that can reel you back in, right? You have your parents, you have your friends, and they're like, they try to keep you on a path. And his friend should be like, look, man, no one gets this opportunity. Very few people do. You're making generational wealth to not only help your family, to help your friends, you can help your community. Not a lot of people get this position of power, and you should truly embrace it and understand the responsibilities that come with it. And for him to throw that away,
crazy.
Not saying that he did right now, but him going down that path, right? And not just understanding what his agreement is, so detrimental to a young person's career. You don't even want to see it happen, man. It's just, you don't need to do this. It's foolish. Not even that, it's just silly. It's just silly at this point. Yeah. It's not even for what do you gain out of doing it? You know what I mean? Like, what do you gain out of doing it?
Bro, it's remember, he didn't crack all NBA this year.
Because of that.
For some people, right? Kendrick Perkins came out and said he didn't vote for him because of that.
Yeah.
That's what Kendrick Perkins said. Whether he was, Telling the truth or not, that's what he claims, right? How about the Powerade? He had a Powerade endorsement. Powerade was ready to make him the face of the company. He signed that thing on March 1st. They had millions of dollars in advertising ready to roll out. And on March 3rd, he picked up the first offense. So they put all that on hold. How about a Nike deal? See what Nike did to Kyrie? They showed him the door fast. This is your second offense. Waving a strap around. Man, you are taking food off your plate. It is so crazy. I've never seen this before. You know, some guys get jammed up. He get caught with drugs. You know, they threw the book at O.J. Mayo. They got him up out of there for PEDs.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
I was just thinking about it. Yeah, I was just thinking about him as the player. Like, what happened to OJ, right?
Yeah.
Like, O.J. Mayo, like, he done.
Yeah.
Done.
But, you know, the way Ja's going, man, like, he might be running alleys with the Dwight Howard up in Taiwan if he's not careful, man. You got to relax. And you haven't won a championship yet. So they will show you less and less grace over there in Memphis because you haven't won. See, winning cures a lot of things, bro. Whether we like it or not, winning cures a lot of things. And the fact that you guys have been coming up short, they just tossed out Dylan Brooks like Jazzy Jeff. They're running short on patience, bro. They needed leadership. And what he's showing as a number one guy on that team, he's not there up here. And the most ironic thing is that I heard a quote that Draymond Green said, like, John Morant is like a genius on the court. But off the court, something's not clicking upstairs, man. Something is not clicking upstairs. I don't know. And people want to say about his lifestyle, that's not him. I don't know anything about that. All I know is what I see out in front, and he's making grave decisions. And
it's not about the lifestyle, though. Sorry.
Yeah.
You can
no, well, what I was saying was that, you know, I did come out and obviously the first person who should be accountable is him. That's his actions. You shouldn't even had it on you. But then I looked to the friend, because a lot of people on Twitter were saying that the friend, remember, before he got jammed up on March 1st, there was an incident where the Pacers employees reported him saying that somebody that he was riding with flashed a red laser at the team bus. Yeah, so they're flashing infrared beams now. And that person was banned from all NBA arenas. Now people are saying that same person was the person that was doing the IG Live. And what I'm saying is that's a case like Juan Toscano on Twitter said, why are you recording everything? Why is that moment even going live when you know the strap is in the car? You know John Morant is in your car. This is your meal ticket here. Why are you even doing that? Yes, John Morant is accountable for his own actions. He's first to blame. But this is the blind leading the blind situation. You know, the friends are just as bad. Like, how are you promoting this with him right now? You should be like, bro, number one, put that away. And number two, like, we're not going playing carpool karaoke on Instagram Live. We're not doing that. It's just weird to me, man. It's just very, very weird to me. And the thing that gets me the most, bro, is like, I lost one of my closest friends to senseless violence way back when. This moment, maybe like 15 years now. And so, like, you know, I seen this like firsthand, just being young, dumb, full of whatever, and just wilding out, doing stupid stuff. Like, I've seen it firsthand. And one of the first things that made me cringe with John Morant, I remember this vividly, bro, because it just took me back to that time, was this was like 2 years ago, maybe. It might have been when he made his first All-Star game. And it was either Cleveland or it was in Indiana. And I was on Instagram, and at the time, he went live. And I clicked on the live. And he was on a private jet headed to the All-Star game with his family in the jet. But he was just, you know, like flashing like stacks, just flashing. I was like, yo, this is cringe. I was like, yo, it's just cringe, man. This is too much clout. This is your thing. This is your money. You do what you do. No hate. But this is cringe. And why I say that, bro, is because, like, look at all of these young entertainers that have gotten bodied over the years for this clout chasing. PNB Rock, Pop Smoke, all these rappers for just going out on Instagram and just doing the most. That generates haters, bro. That generates haters. You never show your plate to a dude that's hungry, bro. That's always what they say. All that clout chasing leads to jealousy, envy, and stupid stuff. Ja Morant is in Memphis, bro. That's one of the highest murder rates in the country. And you out on the gram flashing straps like it's fun and games. All that is going to do is rile up people that's going to want to test you. The people that have nothing to live for. They don't have those $200 million bags. All that is going to do is bring the wrong attention, bro. That's bad news, man. That's bad news. That's bad news, bro.
Like, I know he went into witness protection, and now and you just saw him recently get beat up. But 6ix9ine is another guy, right?
Yeah.
Guy who was cloud chasing. You know, I won't forget that video where he's saying that he's out in Chicago at like certain late night looking for trouble. And it's like, why are you even doing that? Why are you acting like somebody that you're not? And it's not about the lifestyle that you talk about. We're not like, if you want to own, if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do, right? But at the end of the day, the thing is, you should be protecting yourself. You should be protecting your family. You should be protecting what you are doing. Like I said, that's the 1%. Very few people get this opportunity, and you should want to like cherish it. Like,
crazy.
How do you not want? You just got in trouble for it. Why even think about doing it again? Like, why take that risk? You already got in trouble. You already saw what happened. They gave you a probation warning. And then what? You got to lose it and then try to come back? Because it'll make you work 10 times harder just to go get what you lost.
Yeah.
And then you're losing time. And they'll be like, oh, we just see how it goes through the draft, man. You could be at college for 4 years and people will be like, no, we're not going to take you with a first-round pick. We'll wait for like the late first, second round, too old. If you get kicked out of the league now and then try to make a comeback, to be like, I don't know about it. Not many people get a second chance. Not many people get a first chance.
That's a fact. Not everybody get the first chance, bro.
So it's just, hopefully he can learn from this man. Hopefully he sees that like something's got to change. Whether it's family, friends, someone's got to talk to him, man.
Yeah.
Someone's got to talk to him and be like, you don't need to do this. You don't need, move in silence.
Got to. But bro, look how Bron moves. Look how Steph moves. Look, Kawhi Leonard. Look at how all these guys move, bro.
Why do you want your business out there to begin with?
Yo, it's because like, bro, it's the generation that we're in, man. Especially the younger generation. There's nothing against them, man. They're doing a lot of bright things with the social media, and a lot of guys are coming up and making a great living. But there's so much clout chasing and so much flash, and this is what I have, and boom, and money and jewelry, and blah, blah, blah. And like I said, look at all the guys, all the young, so much young talent that has just been annihilated over dumb stuff, bro. Like I said, man, when I saw that IG Live, man, he's on the plane flashing money, I said, oh, man, he can't. I don't know, man. Can't be doing that, man. And you in Memphis, bro. They just laid down Young Dolph. A native son just got laid down out there. Like, you can't be playing around like that, man. So, I don't know what the league is going to do. A lengthy suspension has to be on the way. And then, now you're on thin ice.
He's definitely suspended from all team activities right now.
Definitely, yeah. He was suspended from all team activities.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Val Atlaw, self-snitching's at an all-time high. I don't understand it, man. It is a sad thing, man. And, you just got to wisen up. Get rid of all them losers, man. All them people in the car, man, get rid of all them people, bro. Get rid of it, So, you just, you hope for the best there and see how it goes. But, I mean, to see that happen 2 months after the first incident, I couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it, man.
And then it doesn't even help because there's other incidents prior to this, right? You're not helping yourself with all the other prior incidents. It's like, okay, one time, we don't really know.
Yeah.
Then you start adding all this up. It's like, maybe he did threaten that kid. Maybe he did. Like, you start to think, like, if he's not learning from one incident, maybe it starts to creep in there. Now, and like, that's the thing you don't need to happen to.
Yeah.
Because then people will start painting an image of you like, oh, this guy is not serious. This guy could be dangerous, potentially harmful to the league, team, whatever. We can't take a risk.
Yeah. Can't do it. Can't do it, man. You know? And like I said, that Jalen Rose interview was that wasn't gonna be it. I didn't watch a minute of it, but the price is going up now. Now you gotta go call Oprah and Gail and them and go and do you know what I'm saying? Now you gotta level up. You can't do it Taylor Brooks and the Jalen. No. You gotta go to the big leagues. You gotta go to Oprah. You call Oprah, you call Gail. You do the sit down, throw on a suit this time, maybe throw on some glasses. and do this thing properly. You know? I hate to make light of the situation, but you kind of have to because it's so stupid. You know, Ja Morant, that's hilarious still. I got to laugh at that. Now you got to call Oprah and Gail and do this thing properly.
Basic suit. Maybe a nice tan suit, blue suit.
Yeah.
Bow tie. If you want to be a little out there.
That's it.
You know?
Yeah. Now you got to come properly. Jalen Rose can't help you no more, man. So, yeah, that's a story there with Ja Morant. Ari, man, I didn't hear from Ari Friday night. Go ahead with your point, man.
Yo, what up? What's up, guys? You guys hear me?
Good, man. How you feeling, bro?
I'm good, man. I'm good. CP, that was a great take on Ja Morant. It's the generation.
Yeah.
The cloud chasing, and you attract negative type of people when you do that stuff. 100% agree. Also, like, there's like PNB Rock money, and then there's like Ja Morant money. It's different level money that this guy has access to. I think he's trying to be like Allen Iverson, honestly. I think like how you kind of said how people like look up to this guy because he's like a superstar and he's so fun to watch. It's like he probably kind of looks up to Allen Iverson, even though he was young when he was playing. Like, I think that was the thing of it. But I want to get to the Randle slander right now. All right, okay. I'm back. Okay, the boy's back. Yeah. All right, we're back. All right, now I'll start with the positives. The positives is that the Knicks overachieved. It was a successful season. All right, there's no toxic contracts on the books. All right, you know, RJ took a step. There's some player development, right? And we know now that I was right. Shocker. We should have traded Julius Randle 4 years ago. Okay, he's not built for the playoffs. So, CP, I know you had I know you said like what the Randle trade is. I was on Twitter today. I saw. What do you guys think of this? All right, Tobias Harris, DeAnthony Melton, and 2 first-round picks for Julius Randle. Harris's contract expires at the end of 2024. You get a 2-way wing. You get some shooting in Melton. You get rid of the cancer. RJ takes a step. Obi gets starter minutes. And you get 2 first-round draft picks that you can flip. That's where I'm at. Like, I'd rather do that than Towns. I'm not trying to go all in right now. I'm trying to play it cool, man. So, I don't. You know, you can clear some cap. You can get some picks. You can get rid of Randle, right? And you wait for that Jaylen Brown or whatever that star. Maybe it is Embiid. I don't know. I don't like his injury history, but you know, I would take a shot on him. Towns, I feel like is not. He's a talented player, but like he's like kind of Randle-ish. Like he's just Randle with more talent. I don't think he's a winner either, and he's gonna get paid $62 million. Like I'm past him.
Yeah.
So it's like what other options are there? So I'm going with that. I think Tom Thibodeau should get fired, but I just know that he's not because he got us to the second round. Whatever, but you can't have Thibs and Randle, bro. I'm sorry, you can't have them both. And if Thibs is gonna stay because he just took us to the second round, I need Randle gone, bro.
Okay.
And that's the thing, man. And God bless. Let's hope tomorrow. You know, listen, the Knicks never jump in the lottery, right? But we always we don't need to jump this time. We need to drop down one. So let's just hope that we get the pick next tomorrow. But thank you for the call, guys.
Let's do it. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate the call, Ari.
Salute.
All right. So Ari ready to take us into play-in territory with that trade. Because that's where you're going with that trade. If you're not making any other significant upgrades. Chemistry would be nice, right? You want kumbaya and everybody sharing the ball and stuff.
I don't hate it.
What do you guys think in the chat, man? Rate that call, man. 1 being trash, 5 being facts. Ari's return. You said you don't hate it?
I don't hate the trade.
Too low in first. I mean, it depends on the first. We got to see what Philly's, what their war chest is looking like. I'm not sure.
You're getting 2 firsts from Philly. Tobias Harris. I know in Philly they really diminish his role.
Yeah,
he can be.
Yeah, what
really
is he nowadays? Like, what is he nowadays? He was a Dollar Tree Mellow in his height.
I know. That's crazy. I know.
Hey, that's what we patterned this game after. You know, that's what we wanted to be.
Oh man,
that's what we wanted to be. He's Dollar Tree, very Dollar Tree.
Oh my God, the Dollar Tree Mellow reference came back.
Yeah, he was.
Where's Mook?
Where?
Man. I don't hate it, man. Like I don't hate that trade to be honest. Like I feel like we like to clown Tobias Harris, and it's more so because of his contract, more so than the actual talent. I won't be upset.
90 seconds.
First round picks.
Yeah.
Plus Tobias Harris and DeAnthony Melton. I ain't looking at it like, oh my God, this is the worst thing ever. If you really want to go that direction, yeah, definitely not. I won't say definitely. More likely than not, you're not going to be a clear-cut playoff team. You'd have to go through the play-in, but if you're trying to clear the books, try to bring in some more youth, it's an interesting way to go. Maybe you could re-sign Harris and go for a cheaper deal, and then you have maybe a third, fourth guy, and then you could figure out who could supplement those other positions.
Yeah,
those other roles.
Yeah,
I don't hate it.
It sounds like it's going nowhere fast, but okay. Addition by subtraction. Sounds like a terrible team, but hey, if you guys want to get rid of the issue, you get rid of the issue. And then when they're a terrible team, we'll blame Thibs. We'll get Thibs right. Get Thibs out of there, and then bring in Johnny Bryan, the savior of everything that we have no idea what he can do, but bring him in, and then we go from there. Then the fans will be happy, and then it'll be RJ's turn on the chopping block. And then maybe like 3-4 years later, it'll be Brunson's turn if you can't upgrade the team.
10 seconds.
Yeah.
Why you gotta be so pessimistic, man? Why can't you think about it? Why can't you be optimistic,
bro? Because
why can't you say we get Tobias Harris and become a championship contending team?
Jeez. Oh man. Tom from Huntington. Tom, please have something better, man.
Gentlemen,
yes,
fantastic work as always. Not only during the whole season, but in the playoffs, you guys did a phenomenal job. CP, amazing as always. Alex, amazing, and JD and everyone. Like I said, you guys did a phenomenal job. I'm okay with as far as I'm not a general manager. Of course, every Knicks fan becomes a general manager when the season's over, or a president or whatever you want to call it. We just need some ball handling. I'm tired of watching Brunson be the only one that can handle the rock. You know, these guys, if you trap Grimes or even IQ, like they get scared and they just don't know what to do. Even what's his name? Barrett, same thing. Like they get scared, like they don't know how to dribble. Just get somebody in here that can actually dribble the ball. I'll be happy with that.
Okay.
Noda Mo Bamba before that starts. You know that rumor's gonna come out.
That'll come. Yeah. End of the offseason. That'll
Noda Mo Bamba. Yeah, exactly. And as far as like with John Morant, he's got to get better friends. Honestly, I mean, not to make light of it, but like the same way Cody Zeller needs to get better friends that can tell him to just take the top off, leave it off completely, stop playing around with the mask. It's not throwing me off. Dude, you're follically challenged. It's okay. Let it go. Sometimes you just got to let it go. And as far as, me, rapid fire, tomorrow we're going to get the 11th pick. I'm talking it into existence. The 11th pick for lucky number 11, Brunson, that we took already from them. So I think karma should definitely smack them in the face. Aside from that, gentlemen, keep doing what you're doing. Number one show for the fans, by the fans. Manscaped. Come on. You know the deal. Let's guys have a wonderful evening, and we'll definitely talk soon. All right, thanks again.
Man. Tom sprinkling in a little numerology in the mix here, Al. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that, man. A little 11, number 11 pick for number 11, Jalen Brunson.
I like that.
Yeah. You know, hey. I was on my numerology wave on Friday, man. I didn't drop this on Friday because we didn't win, but I really wanted to because I thought I had something there. So, listen to this, right? So,
oh boy.
All right, so here it goes.
Sounded like my aunt trying to figure out the numbers to the lottery.
Yeah.
Here we go.
I'm not usually that guy, but I really thought all this thing was coming together. So I rocked my Ewing jersey to the watch party of 40-40. Fresh joint. Mitchell Ness, crispy. Things I forgot what year it's from. 33, right? 33. Rock that one. I go to the hotel to check in. It's a true story. Go to the hotel to check in. The guy at the front desk checking me in. He goes, "Oh, is that a Ewing jersey?" He says, "It was a nice jersey." I said, "Thanks." The guy behind me walks in and checks in next to me. What's his last name?
Ewing.
So I look at the Knicks check. I said, "This is a sign. This is a sign." All right. Oh. I go into 40-40. And in 40-40, in the bathrooms, it's individual stalls behind doors. So it's a unisex bathroom, right? So it's individual stalls with a closed door. But each stall has a number on the wall, almost like subway tiles.
Oh, boy.
The first stall I went in, what number was in front of me?
33.
33. And we lost the game. I was ready to connect the dots, man. I was ready to bring the story. I took the picture of the 33 in the stall. Ready. That was going to be the first thing I was going to start with post game. Wasn't there.
Did you play the lottery that night?
No. I didn't.
Should have. That you should have done.
Yeah. I thought I had something there, man. I did. I really thought I was onto something, man.
This guy.
Yeah.
This guy pulling out all.
Yeah. But the Ewing guy was crazy, though. Come on, man. I had the Ewing jersey on.
That's crazy.
I had the Ewing jersey on. The guy literally right next to me checked in. Last name was Ewing.
That's crazy.
That's not a popular last name.
It's not. What if he was wearing Ewing shoes with his last name Ewing? That would have been wild. That would have been wild. That would have been crazy.
Yeah.
But we're going to talk about probability.
Yes.
And talk about numbers. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Hoops Hype for tweeting this out. Mm-hmm. Dallas Mavericks have had 14 lottery picks and have yet to move up once in the lottery.
There we go.
They have moved down 6 times. Meanwhile, the Spurs have moved up 4 times in 5 chances. History is written like that sometimes. That's the end of the tweet.
There it is. Our chance to screw Mark Cuban in the lottery.
That's what I need.
Yep.
That's what I need.
Yeah, in the lottery. All right, KG didn't believe my 33 story. He didn't believe it. He says we need to see the picture. Okay. All right, here it is. I'm downloading the picture right now. I'm about to drop it in.
Downloading the picture? What are you doing? What are you doing over here?
The picture from the bathroom.
You gotta download it? It's not saved on your phone?
It is. I had to transfer it, man. I'm producing my own show here tonight, man. I don't have all that fancy help that we have in the playoffs. Shout out to Daniel. Shout out to Gamba. Yeah, here it is right here. Number 33. In the bathroom stall. The first one. Yeah, there it is. There it is, man. I really thought it was a sign. I was a chosen one. I thought. That's what I thought. I was a golden child. like the movie with Eddie Murphy. You ever saw that one? That was a classic. That was before your time. That was a classic, though.
Which one?
Golden Child. You ever see Golden Child?
No. I've heard of Golden Child. I've not watched it.
Yeah, that was a classic joint.
All right. I'll put that on the list for me to watch.
Yeah. Got to.
Oh, yeah. 33.
Yeah. Trying to tell you, man. Trying to tell you. Premium content, rare edition says. Premium content. Absolutely, man. All right, who else we want to hear from? Okay, Rapid Fire, Book from Queens. Book, let's go. Rapid Fire. Haven't heard from Book for a while. So
first of all. Yeah. 3 times 3 is 9. which means we should be focusing on R.J. Barrett right now.
Okay.
As we approach the playoffs, we were in danger of R.J. Barrett turning into a pumpkin in this time.
Yeah. Book, are you on speakerphone?
After 2 games. Say what now?
Are you on speakerphone?
No, I'm not on speaker.
Oh.
I shouldn't be on speaker. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you sound kind of far away, but go ahead.
Okay, so anyway, R.J. Barrett showing up was one of the biggest things to happen for us because it shows that he can be at least a solid piece going forward, and I came here to get some quick tomatoes.
Okay.
Julius Randle and Tom Thibodeau are not perfect, but we cannot trade hypothetical wins for real wins. This team has done better than it has, including when Melo got us to this point, because we're so young and we have so many assets. Mm-hmm. We need to stay where we are until we can make the right swing with these assets, because it took us so long to get back to this point. And if that means another year of Randle, who is trying, he's not perfect, I get it. We just need to hold that. All this Karl Anthony Towns, Jeremy Grant stuff, that stuff is absolute nonsense, not the way we want to go. Tom Thibodeau has been proven to be right, and many times that a lot of us on this show have been proven to be wrong.
Okay.
And it is what it is. That's it for me tonight. Thanks for having me on. Can't wait to catch you guys.
Salute, man. Hector from Harlem World. Hector, how you feeling, man?
Y'all better give a thumbs up for the only voice of the orange and blue.
Let's
CP. Go. Alice is going on, man. I haven't heard from y'all in a minute.
Good, man. How you feeling,
I'm going to do rapid fire, CP. I'm waiting for my Masai Ujiri moment, bro. We got to hold on to Randle as much as we hate. As far as we hate, as much as we hate thinking of that, we got to hold on to him, because it's like the previous caller said. And like you said earlier tonight, we need to get equal value back. For as much as people think that, we got to get rid of him desperately, we can't do it at this moment. There's nobody out there. You saw how long it took Masai Ujiri to find the perfect superstar, to make everything count, and it took, almost 4.5 to 6 years of Raptor failure to finally see it all come together after they traded DeMar DeRozan. That's almost, in a sense, what we're kind of looking at. There's nobody out there. We've tried free agency. We saw what happened with Devo last year. We got to wait on it. And not to get too carried away before I make my final point, CP, with the Ja Morant thing, man. I mean, you nailed the nail on the coffin. But I think it starts with his dad. It starts with T. Morant. That kid has no real traditional background. When you got your dad over here acting like he's your brother, all signs of failure. Like, there's no real parents in there. He's got to really sit his son down and let him know, you got a chance to really change lives out here, and you're over here acting like you a goon. You're not that. You're way bigger than that. Like Ari said, there's a difference between PNB Rock money and the money you're getting. And to think that he already killed $30 million away for not making all NBA because of maybe acts like that is crazy to me. But thank you for taking the call, bro.
Appreciate it, man.
Be tuning in this summer. You already know.
Absolutely, man. Hector from Harlem World. Definitely appreciate the call, man. Definitely appreciate it. Yeah, the thing is with the his father's situation, like, I don't think we could say one way or the next if he's doing that. Like, we don't know, right? Just because we see Ja Morant doing this doesn't necessarily mean that his pops isn't in his ear. I think just because we see his pops out there and he's, chummying up with, Yo Gotti and so on, and he's there with the glasses, don't mean that he's not trying to steer him in the right direction. You could be steering him and trying all your best, but he's 23 years old. He's a grown man. Don't mean we're going to listen, right? How many of us listen to every single thing our parents told us or try to guide us on? Think about it. So that's why I just try to stay away from going a little too deep into his personal life, because I just don't know. All I could say is he's flashing the gun. He's an idiot. He needs help. He needs to help himself. Those things are non-negotiable. Those are facts. But the other side, I just don't know. You know what I'm saying? I just don't know. But I hear what Hector's saying, though.
I hear him too. But I agree with you. I don't know him like that where I could say, oh, his father's doing this, isn't doing that. All I know is that his father looks like Usher.
Yeah, he does. He does. He definitely does, man. Let's go to Jay Boogie. Jay Boogie, what's good?
Salute. 3 capital S's, blessings, health, happiness to everybody. Hope everybody's in the greatest form of health or anything that you're going through. We pray that you don't just go through it, you get through it. Once again, a day after the Mother's Day, shout out to all the mothers. You can do something for your moms today and tomorrow. Don't allow that day just to be that one day where you do something for your mom. Love and appreciate your moms each and every day. Love and appreciate your fathers each and every day. Love and appreciate your families each and every day. Don't wait for a holiday to celebrate your love and how you feel for your people. Just want to get that out there to the people, you know what I'm saying? Real quick, let's reflect on RJ. I like where my man with that, because no, RJ is not talented like Zion, but he's dependable. No, RJ is not talented like Ja, but he's not a troublemaker. You know what I'm saying? That's our third pick, and he hold it down. He's real smart and intelligent, and his game is getting a whole lot better. I just want to send that out real quick, you know what I'm saying? For RJ, keep doing what you're doing and keep coming along, you know what I'm saying? But there's a lot of rumors being spread. This that talk of the town right now, when things are being heard and things are being said and players are getting chosen and everybody want to come over here and be over here with us. This person want to say that person belong over here, you know what I'm saying? Why are they saying it? They want to put all the people over here. They see what happened this year. They see how the team performed. They see where the team went at this year, you know what I'm saying? The team was 500 all the way across the board. The team was 500 at the crib. The team was 500 on the road. The team was 500 in the playoffs. A lot of people talk about 37 games this year, 40 games this year, 42, maybe 47. Maybe we might reach the 50 burger. But how many people said we was going to win 6 games in the playoffs? You know what I'm saying? How many people was going to say we was only going to have 3 teams in front of us from winning a championship? That's right. We was only ones that was in front of us was Miami, Boston, or Philly, or whoever come out the West. This is why this year is a successful year on where we going. Stick to the core and keep moving and directing the floor. I know it's been a long time since we've been in a situation like this. That's why it hurt the stump so much. But it's supposed to hurt the sting. That's what's going to make you go to your own say with the season ending. That's going to make you go put that work in because it stings you. It hurts you. You should want to come back and can't wait to get on the court. The season as soon as the season ends, that's when the season begins. I got to get back to the format. This is the on season. This is the office season. Forget playing basketball right now. Get the team right and do what you got to do. But I must say, one thing you know for a fact, last year we was all sitting here talking about, oh, God, we needed a point guard. What happened? Leon went and got us a point guard. Leon went and got us a general. Leon got us a leader. Leon went and got us somebody who ain't scared of the situation. How I know he's not scared? Matter of fact, we know he got robbed for All-Star game. We know he should be on the All-Best on NBA somewhere up and down the road. But I'm going to tell you where, you know what I'm saying, Jalen Brunson is in my category, you know what I'm saying? We got the best point guard in the East. We got a superstar in the making. Why do I know that? Because you don't do to Eric Spoelstra what that man did to Eric Spoelstra. Eric Spoelstra is the best coach it is in the league, period. He's the general on that sideline. And when Eric K put the format together to shut you down, guess what? We got a killer on our team, you know what I'm saying? And now all we got to do with the window wide open and everybody want to jump out the window, no, Leon, go get the pieces and throw them back inside that window. Because guess who's in that window and in that house? That's Jalen Brunson. The same ones, you know what I'm saying? When we got him, they said he's too small. He too unathletic. He don't play no D. He don't do none of that. We gave him too much money. We're them people that said that right then and there. So you know what I'm saying? What I want to do, keep building around that man. Don't waste his time, you know what I'm saying? You already heard CP talking about the wrapping up the knees. No, we need to get the right people and the right pieces around the people, you know what I'm saying? But I keep going back to the format. We was 3 teams away from a championship, man. How long has it been since we've been that close? 3 teams. Only Miami, Boston, Philly, and whoever was in the West is in our way. We could get right back to where we just left and finish off when we know where we started, man. Just believe and have faith. Don't get the switching. That's why I ain't talking about soon as the season ends. I don't want to be getting no thoughts on what I want to get rid of, who I want to trade, because I'm upset we lost, you know what I'm saying? I come back and I have to think it over. We was in the right position, man. So just believe and have faith. Continue on doing what we're doing. I believe in Leon, man. I believe in Leon all the way. I know when he brought us here, I seen that the trade deadline moves he made. I seen him get rid of our pick, knowing that we was going to be better than Dallas, but nobody thought Dallas was going to fall down to that right there where they fell in. And I don't want the 11th pick. That's too late in the game. Give me the 12th pick. Give me the 13th pick. Give me the 14th pick. I don't want to wait till the last pick. I take any one of those lottery picks. I don't like to wait till the last moment, you know what I'm saying? So that's where I'm in. Salute, 3 capital S's. Everybody have a blessed evening, you know what I'm saying? And I see y'all and talk to y'all the next day. That lottery is tomorrow, you know what I'm saying? We're going to get our pick back, and we're going to do something with that. Be still, be easy. Salute.
Jay Boogie with the closing sermon. Salute, man. 2 hours on this thing, Al. We are some damn degenerates.
2 hours.
2 hours.
2 hours,
man. Hey, 2 hours of quality content. That is a fact, man. That is a fact.
Talking about 2 hours of Knicks basketball when there's no Knicks game on.
Yeah.
Where else can you find that?
Yeah. Nowhere else, man. Nowhere else. Salute, man. Let me get to the super chats, man. Let me salute the people, man. Hang tight. Let's see. Salute. Oh, Edgar, you wanted to get in, right? Edgar, let's go.
Hey, 2 hours of quality.
Oh, hey, what's up, guys? How you doing?
Good, man. How you doing?
Good.
Yeah.
Salute to you guys, first of all. Throw a thumbs up for you, for the boys.
Mm-hmm.
Great season from the whole KFTV team. As usual, always putting in the hard work, and it shows, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And many more great things coming. I got to say this real quick. Listen, I don't know. Some people are saying the season was a disappointment because, it got ended by the Heat.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, nobody wants to lose to Miami Heat, especially in the playoffs. I didn't like it. I know a lot of diehard fans didn't like it. But to say that the season was a complete wash just because of that, I disagree with that. I think this team took a lot of steps moving in the right direction moving forward. I mean, some of the young players developed. Yeah, IQ kind of took a step back in the playoffs. RJ didn't have the best regular season, but hey, it's growing pains when you have young players like this. Sometimes they're gonna show up in certain spots, and sometimes they're not. Sometimes they'll figure it out early. Sometimes they'll figure it out late. And I think overall, our young guys got valuable experience moving forward. And on top of that, we got Jalen Brunson. I like to put this perspective out there. It's not like in 2013, right, where we lost to the Indiana Pacers in the second round, and we really had nothing to look forward to.
Mm-hmm.
We had a bunch of old vets, who were on their last legs. We didn't really have a draft pick because we traded it for Andrea Bargnani, and, that blew up in our faces. And this time is a lot different. We have picks. We have, we have things to work with. We have young guys. We have a superstar, depending on how you look at it, in Jalen Brunson, right? A point guard after all these years. So we're in a good spot. It just depends on not staying complacent and making the right moves going forward. And I think this front office so far has hit on mostly all cylinders. I know last season, it wasn't perfect because, some of the guys that we signed and we gave extensions to didn't pan out. But, Leon Rose and company, they quickly pivoted, and they made all the right moves. They got the Josh Hart. They got Jalen Brunson, and they worked things out. So they haven't shown a reason why we shouldn't trust in them. The whole Julius Randle situation is a little bit tricky to me. I think, I don't think he can be the number one option. That's obvious because to me that's Brunson. I don't even think he can be the second option. If you want to keep him and if equal value or something for him in the market, then you keep him as a third option and you see how he settles there. I think to me that would be the best role because at the end of the day, the guy still puts up numbers, right? I know his attitude, it comes up sometimes and whatever, but I think he can contribute if you give him a lesser role. And the important thing for me now is finding a second star to pair up with Jalen Brunson. Like, I know Brunson is 26, but you don't want to take too much time, wasting the prime of his career, looking for a second guy. You got to get on moving right away. Try to identify some guy that, wants to come here somehow. Because in my mind, there's guys who looked at Jalen Brunson last playoffs and they looked at him this playoffs, and they got to be thinking to themselves, like, bro, this kid is fire, bro. Like, he hit on all cylinders. They got something there with him. Like, I want to come play with this guy. He's a floor general. He can set me up. He can get me easy baskets, and he can take over when he needs to take over. So that way, I don't even have to do everything all the time. So there's got to be some star out there that's thinking, like, hey, man, I want to play next to Jalen Brunson. You know what I mean? Like, there's got to be at least one. So with that, that's all I got to say. Great show as always, guys.
Appreciate it. KnicksFanTV Edgar on the check-in, man. Let me read these super chats up. Salute. Okay, salute to J Boogie once again, man. He says, let me open this up. He says RJ is not a Zion talent, but he's dependable. He's not a Ja Morant talent, but he's not flying through the city showing off ammo. He's our third. Shout out Junior Corona, $5 super chat says, thank God for the show. CP Alex and JD Breen, we needed this therapy. Shout out to F Freak NY. Shout out to Russell Whiskey. Shout out to Nuke Trebien, $5 super chat says, what's up with Gary Trent? What's the situation? Is he attainable? We need young gunners like him or draft one. On the flip, not opposed to a Burks reunion. I like that comment, man. But a lot of people want Gary Trent Jr., but he's going to cost too much. Right now, he's got a player option, and that is worth about 17. Let me just look that up real quick. Gary Trent Jr. contract. He's at 17 a year with a player option. He's going to opt out of that. It's 18.5. It's a player option. He's going to opt out of that and look to be in the 20s. You're already going to pay IQ. Josh Hart. You're going to pay Hart. You're going to pay IQ. Trent's not happening unless you're doing a sign and trade. And are you now going to sign and pay him and trade Ujiri assets for him? That's not it. That's not going to happen. Who else we got here? Who else? Salute. I lost my super chats here. Hang on.
I'm surprised you don't have a Burks jersey in every colorway.
I should, man. I should call him. I should call him up, man, and get one, man. I should have got one, man. But maybe when he returns, we'll get another one. John DLR says the bench lost us a series. We didn't get much from him. Certainly didn't. Certainly did not. Big Surge, $5 super chat says Chicago needs a pivot. DeRozan is an OG, but he's steady money offense. Randle for DeMar. Draft a rebounding four to replace the rebounds. Leonard Miller. Mike Rambo, $5 super chat says we have reached as far as we can go with Thibs. Look at the Hawks situation. We don't want to miss our chance. I can't watch Randle bully Thibs. Haiku Homie, $10 super chat says I got audited today. Bros, the IRS thinks I'm hiding my dough. Homie, don't play that. I just write haikus, but it was enough to scare me, my waifu. She left and now I'm scarred. This itch even took my Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Shout out to Haiku Homie, man.
Yu-Gi-Oh, not Yu-Gi-Oh.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was after my time, man. No disrespect. How do you pronounce it? Please correct me. I'm old. How do you pronounce that?
Yu-Gi-Oh.
Okay. Yu-Gi-Oh. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Not to be confused
with
Pokemon
you're a little
cards.
old over there.
Yeah, that's after my time, man. That was after my time. Yu-Gi-Oh. Get it right. I left after the Tamagotchi days. You don't know anything about that. Right?
I know about Tamagotchis. Get out of here. I didn't own one, but I know about it.
Erwin Vasquez, $5 super chat says, what about Randle to the Warriors for Wiggins or Poole? Nah.
What was it? What was the comment?
Randle to the Warriors for Wiggins or Poole.
Oh boy.
All right.
I think the stat was Randle is the second most inefficient player in the playoffs. Jordan Poole is the last.
Right. There you go. Let's bring fake Steph Curry in here.
Pulling up for three.
Pulling up. Yeah. Erwin Vasquez. Oh, I got that one. RD Knicks. Jaren Jackson Jr. Do you think he'll be available if Ja gets suspended heavy? No. Use Randle after to get some role players. No won't be available. Shout out to Nick, $100 super chat. Donald Smith, $10 super chat says crazy stat. Julius Randle, 218 threes, 34% 3-point percentage. Jordan Poole, 214 threes, 37% from downtown. Stock Chasers, salute. And Kane Marco says trading for Embiid means losing everything and filling the roster out with Michael Beasley, Tyreek Evans, Lance, Dwight, OJ Mayo, Jeremy Lin, and Boogie Cousins. As far as Ja, only those who don't make it happen think it can't happen. Salute to Kane Marco, man. Salute to Kane Marco. Yeah. Keith Sinclair, how do you pronounce Goku? Yeah, I wasn't a Dragon Ball Z guy either, man. That was just a little bit. Just a little bit. I got up at it. I was done, just a little bit. I was just a little bit past.
You were not tuning into Toonami. You were not tuning into the WB Saturday morning cartoons.
Oh, I was on that heavy, man. Listen, we could be a
Static Shock.
We'll move into hour number 3 if we start getting into that. Let's save that. So save that for another show. We got a lot of time. We got a lot of weeklies to go here as we are just entering into this, man. So let's table it here. I got to get into it. We'll table it here. Save that for maybe next week, and get it cracking, man. Good show, man. Remember that this show is available in audio podcast format, man. No reason to miss it. And yeah, man. Bobby Marks, man. I'll be talking to Bobby Marks on Wednesday. We'll get some of his off-season outlooks for the team. So stay tuned for that. I don't know if I recorded or do it live. He's in Chicago for the Combine. I think we're doing it at 10 Eastern. So maybe we'll do it live, but most likely recorded. Tomorrow I will be on the putback with Ian Begley, so make sure you guys tap in on SNY. Shout out to Jen from Fox 5 News. I was out on Fox 5 New York talking Knicks off season as well, man. So
look at you, man, making your rounds, doing big things out here.
They are going in on me with the Dragon Ball Z slander. Let me get up out of here before it gets worse. They're going in. I couldn't tell you one thing about that show. Well, not one thing. I know Goku's the man. Super Saiyan. This. I don't know anything about that.
Oh my goodness. All right.
Nothing. I don't know anything.
Gotta get up out of here.
I'm lost.
I gotta leave.
I'm lost. Nick Holla, $5 super chat says, "Yo, this is Nick from Seattle." Oh yeah, shout out Nick from Seattle, man. Saw him at Game 4. That's right, Game 4 of the Cavs series, I believe. He says, "I'm probably in the minority, but I want all the boys back. Chemistry over everything. Squad hype." Shout out to Nick from Seattle, man. Yeah, definitely bumped into him. Stand-up guy. He had the Knicks Death Row shirt collab. Salute, man. Emerald City, man. Emerald City's finest. I haven't been to Seattle yet. Check that out. BK Goblin says CP was watching Bruce Lee. That's a fact. All the old
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
All the old kung fu flicks. All the old ones. Iron Fist. Fist of Fury. Yeah, Enter the Dragon. Yeah, the one with Jabbar. Which one was that called? Was that Revenge of the Dragon? Which one was Jabbar? Yeah.
What is that one called? It's called. Oh my God!
Which one was the one with Jabbar? Somebody in the chat. Somebody in the chat. Woo. See, there's no answers in the chat. See, nobody knows. There's all young heads. There's a big search. Give me the name. Which one was the Bruce Lee flick with Jabbar? It was a Return of the Dragon. Game of Death. That's what it was. There we go.
Game of Death.
You see how long it took me to get that answer? It's all youngins in the chat, man. Game of Death. Do your Googles, ladies and gentlemen. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Bruce Lee. He had to fight levels. He had to go up different levels and fight different bosses. He had to take on Chuck Norris first. Then once he got through with him, then he had to go to the upstairs. Abdul-Jabbar was up there. He had to square off with Abdul-Jabbar, choke him out, and avenge his family.
I watched it.
Yeah. Game of death. Game of death. All right, yeah, the Dragon Ball Z stuff is really, the chat is turning on me, man. So let me get up out of here before it gets worse. Al, great show. Tomorrow night, we're back.
Yes, we are back again.
The Draft Lottery Show. Let's do it, man.
And we can tune in then to flame CP more about his lack of Dragon Ball Z knowledge.
Yes, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Okay. All right, man. Great show. We out of here.
We're back at you.
Bruce Lee, the greatest.